Okay. So, a couple of trade ideas. All right. We talked about Amazon. We got short last week. Okay. AI was the other trade idea. All right. I told you guys once we got up into this 44, 45 zone that we could not, we were having trouble holding that high going into the Fed meeting. You guys can see this nice range here. Nice range. You break out, it failed. Right? Tried to recapture that whatever was going on, obviously earnings, something that I could look at. And we bounced back. This is actually something I should have done here was go back to their last, 2 to 3 years, and look at their earnings. Okay. So I noticed that we could not, we got up here. You can see all these wicks, but we tried to get up there and you could not hold it. You could not hold that high. All right. Fed day obviously happened. There was a nice ascending wedge there. So AI short last week was a trade. This was a monster trade for us. We were targeting 40, and you obviously got more than that. You got down to $37. This is actually, I checked in on this. This thing went all the way up to 700%, 800. Last I looked, it was at like 700%. I mean, you were $6, $7 in the money on contracts that were 90 cents up here. So it very well may have reached around 1,000%, close to. But that's a huge gain. Amazon short, that was another one. We broke below. All right, we broke below this range here. We came in, tapped up against it, and you came in. What was it? The Fed day? No, it wasn't the Fed day. It was Friday. You came in Friday with that nice gap down. Okay, if you look here on the 4-hour chart, right here, you can see this was a really nice area right here. This was a nice base right there. All right, and we rejected it. Boom, right there, 4-hour chart, bang, come in with the gap down. So that was the other trade last week. I know I had a couple more. I'd have to go through my orders and look. I'm still watching Amazon at this level. I almost took this short yesterday, but I didn't. I'm just going to hold off because for a few reasons. All right, for a few reasons. So if we go to a 5-minute chart, you're going to see we put in this consolidation up here from Friday's high, right? And then you put in this nice little double bottom. Well, we're holding that. So what I want to see today going into later in the week is what does the SPY and the Qs do? What does the overall market do? We still have, remember, if you guys haven't been watching for whatever reason, look at the Dow. It's still pulling back. I looked yesterday. It was still pulling back. All right, we're still pulling back yesterday. All right, you nice day on Friday. Boom, took it back. We'll see. It looks like the Dow is going to try to hold up at last Thursday's high, double top high, right below Friday's close. But looks like you could be into some trouble there. So keep an eye on the Dow. Let's go to the IWM real quick. What I'm watching for is to see what the overall markets do. IWM stuck below this 100-day moving average. It is in a nice little range here. Top end of that range is 225. The middle of that range is 220, which is right now support. And then 215 and your 200-day moving average is coming in there. That would be the bottom end. So I would have those three levels on the IWM here. You get a nice trade up here at 225 or the 100-day. If it looks like the markets are going to break down, maybe you look for a move back into this support zone and the 200-day moving average. All right. So Amazon, I'm going to see how we do. The Qs are continuing to be our leader. All right. I was using them yesterday. We had a nice day yesterday. We recaptured We got right back above this 20-day moving average here, this green line. All right, and that green box right there. So there's that green line is the 20-day. The red one is our 50. Okay, which I can probably get rid of this. All right, that's our 50. The blue 100, turquoise 200. Not that yellow one is our 90 MA. So we got to get above that and extend off of it. If we can extend here and look for a nice little pullback here, boom, boom, whether it happens in a day, 2 days, 3 days, bang, I'm looking for upside back up to 530, 535. Okay. If not, if we fail back below the 20-day and this pivot zone here on the Qs, then I'm going to be in that Amazon short. Okay. So right now you have this gap fill. This is the area I'm watching for support. 515, 520, that zone right there. We held it yesterday. You can see we pulled in, boop, hit it, went right up through the 20-day moving average. So you got the 20-day and that 90 MA right there, trying to act as resistance. And it looks like as though we were able to get through it. Let's look and see where we are this morning. And then we pulled back in. Oh my gosh. Pulled back in and retested it. Okay. And what I want to say too is if for some reason I don't make myself clear or don't finish something that I was getting out, or if there's something you don't understand, please let me know. One thing I am going to be working on from now on is getting what I'm trying to get out and not beating around the bush. That's something I got to get a lot better at. I've been watching my streams back, and you know, it's something that I don't really do. Just like the Fed meeting, okay? When I was getting out, like, hey, 3% may be too low. We've had enough time here. The Fed is more than likely going to start raising that number just for the simple, or not really raising it, but putting that number out to 2026, 2027, 2028, if we don't find ourselves in a recession. So that if something happens, they have something to work with. There's no reason to continue to lower rates if the unemployment is going to remain low. Okay. So, all right, QQQ. We have this. What I'm going to keep my eyes on here. Let's do this. Let's get out of this because this is too big. That's what she said. Let me get the 5 minute right there. Boop. Boop. Oh my gosh. What is going on? But yeah, so I was watching some of my streams back, and I could see that I was not explaining myself well and not sticking to the subject. So again, guys, I'm going to get better at that. All right, QQQ. I'm just going to be watching this 20-day moving average, okay, and the 90 MA. If we can stick this zone again, and if we can break through Friday's high and Monday's high and get through that area, guys, we have a straight shot back to 535. And it won't take much volume to do it if everybody's going to be a buyer. Okay? So 15-minute chart down here at the bottom left. You can see this zone is a really nice pivot zone. Last time we were there at 520, 520.50. We tapped it, came in with the gap up, and extended higher. So, as of right now, or a little bit, the zone we want to watch for is going to be 525. Okay, keep an eye on 525. All right, 525. Let me do one thing real quick. Just let me get my charts straight really quickly. Everything's freezing. It's already freezing up. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I'm not going to spend too much time on the indexes. The SPY looks really good. The SPY right now is actually above prior day's high, trying to hold it. So as of right now, the SPY is probably your indicator to the upside, your leading indicator to the upside. Look at the Qs here at the top left, right? And the Qs were leading us. And look at, on the right-hand side here, the SPY See, they're talking about it on CNBC right now. Big banks sue the Fed over annual stress test source. Okay. So, top right SPY is up above prior day's close and Friday's high. The Qs are above yesterday's high, but not above Friday's. Not above Friday's high. Okay. Apple's been on a tear. Nice double bottom here. I'm still looking for a pullback. This is an idea here at 254. I wanted to see if we held it and could extend higher. But if we cannot, again, it's all going to depend on what the markets do. If the markets can't extend higher, I'm not even going to attempt it. I need... Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Okay. So that's that.
What do you think the rates will be for the next 12 months? What do you think like the average homeowner should expect?
I gotta pull up my scanner real quick. It's just it's so much shit that I have to do. Excuse my language. I do apologize.
Charlie, run.
Okay. Let's go to stocks that are trending. So we had AAL. They canceled that. So right now, TSM. Let's refresh this. Okay, DRCT. DRCT is the first one up on the list.
In terms of new builds, when you look geographically, is there
That's ugly. That's
actually something really great happening?
I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't like that. If that ain't an ugly chart, I don't know what is. AVGR. This is a nice pattern here. Let's go pull up the daily chart. Let's do this. How about we do this? Let's go here. Let's stop playing around. It's got some nice volume here, guys. Watch this zone right here. You have VWAP lining up. Yo, where's my... Okay, it's right there. Good. Let's look at this 5 minute. Boom. Damn, it's below the trade line now. If you break VWAP, I don't really like this. This thing might end up going back down to $1.50, guys. I'm just going to let you know. I don't like this. VWAP has to hold. VWAP has to hold. This could make for a nice long pullback. Yesterday, you closed at around 65 cents. The volume is not that great. Let me see. Let me just double check real quick. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's also a $2 stock, so it doesn't... I don't even know what this is. I would stay away from this if I was going to... Just look at this chart. This thing screams promotion. Okay, this thing screams promotion. Just look at this chart. Look at these wicks. All right? Massive volume, but keeps going down. All the candles that are to the upside are to the buy side, and this thing is... Let me make sure that there's no news or something. Solutions. All right, so AVGR it's up 138%, $1.53 per order trade. AVGR announced last week it has received notice of allowance for U.S. patent titled catheter device with detachable distal end for treatment of peripheral artery disease. Okay, so they have a patent. That could help. That could mean something. Listen, that's not my department. That helps. I got to say that helps out. You know, owning the rights to a medical device, that's definitely... I mean, look at... Yeah, this thing's just washed up. Look at this, 6, 7, 8,000. This thing is. They've done. There's no equity left in it. I would stay away from this thing. I would. I would stay away from it. All right. Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM. Oh, this could be a nice breakout here. Look at this volume here, guys. This is going to be top on the list. Check this out. We have a nice flat top resistance up here. All right. Now I don't know. You know, we closed up there yesterday. Prior high up here at 212, 212.60, so closer to 213. Let's make sure that there was no news or anything yesterday. Well, these are stocks on investors' radar. We're going to talk about Tesla. We're going to talk about Rumble. AMD. So, analysis, including Steve Frankel, have maintained a positive outlook on AMD, citing its potential AI next-gen tech growth, but they did not give a price target. Isn't that funny? Taiwan Semiconductor. TSM climbed 5.15%, 207 close with the intraday. Okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The stock's rise is attributed to U.S. trade probe into China's semiconductor policies, potentially leading to increased tariffs on Chinese components. All right. So again, I want to reiterate, okay? Hit the like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already done so. I want to reiterate Rumble yesterday because I think Rumble was a prime lesson for anybody that thinks they know what they're doing. And we're going to look across YouTube today. We're going to look across YouTube today, and we're going to ask some of these traders that are on here. And it's okay. I want people to learn. I want people to do this. We don't need to come at people with the, with disrespect. They are, if you were ever in the football, skateboarding, I don't care what it is, in anything, you showed love, right? You guys were the same because you were in the same industry. You were alike. There's a lot of hate out there these days. But again, yesterday's Rumble deal was a big deal. That's a big deal. Not only do you have in that industry some of the top streamers not signed, one of them, if not a few, okay, raising capital and having a company invest in them. It's got to work. It hasn't worked yet, even though that person says they're going to stay with Kick. 775 million, guys. I'm going to go back to TSN. This thing was going to double. It closed at $7 Friday. The market cap nearly doubled. That is without a multiple behind it. So it was a no-brainer that this thing was more than likely going to target $14. All right, I told a few people about this yesterday. I said I'd be looking for Rumble to at least get to 12 to 14, maybe $15. I mean, you got to think about it. If with no multiple, their market cap was a little over $3 billion. They just got just under $1 billion investment from this one company. So that doesn't necessarily double their market cap, but it's with no multiple, it pretty much is damn near doubling it. So that was just the way I perceived it. That, there was nearly half of its market cap added back into it with no multiple. So I was aiming for $14 on this thing. That was really my target. It went to $14.63. And I think it kind of just, now listen, what I would watch with Rumble is the news that comes out after this. Who do they start to sign? This has got to work. Now it's, after Christmas going into the New Year's, I'd be watching Rumble honestly by February. I was going to say March, but within the end of January, if you see like Aiden Ross or I guess like Neon or any of these other streamers or them not bringing somebody on, vitally, you name it. They got to start getting some type of market share. Like what Twitch has Kai, what Kick has Aiden and Vitali. Who does Rumble have? Stack Swapo? That's it. Not like do they? Who do they have? Academics. Okay, so we got to watch here to see, do they start signing people on, and how are their views? They got to start making. They got to start pulling some strings. And listen, I'm going to be picking up the phone myself. I've already sent out a few messages to Portnoy. I think the capital markets need a YouTube derived market analysis show where news, trading, all that fun stuff. We have a couple of them out there, but so anyway, that's Rumble. Guys, I would look for pullbacks. I don't think I'm going to be trading this. I'll watch it. I would look for, any pullbacks into $11. If you get another shot at 11, that could make for a nice, maybe, a nice scalp long back into like 12 or so. So let me go here. Let me do this. All right, so right now let's do a check-in. It's 8:20. Let's go here. Come on. All right, so they haven't released that yet. All right, let's go look at. So yeah, that's Rumble. If I was going to trade Rumble though today, I would be using, more than likely rejections off of 1350. That 1350 level is what I would be watching. We weren't able to close above that yesterday. You weren't able, you hit 15 and you pulled back. So I'd be watching for rejections up there at 1350 to 14. Or listen, if you get back above this pivot high, this resistance here at 1350, if you start holding 1350, you have an opportunity to test previous day's high, see if you extend higher. That could very well be an opportunity. I just think now this trade would be to the downside. I'm not saying that this is going to sell off either, so don't get it twisted. All right, Apple. Apple's another one that I'm watching. So as you guys can see here, we have a nice little resistance up here. I'm not really going to focus on Apple. I want to focus on names that are active. All right, TSM. Baba's been bouncing too. I don't know if this is going to hold. Watch 86, right? 86 down on Baba. If 86 holds, you have a $2 move back to 88. I would assume you're going to go back and retest 88. All right. TSM. Let me pull up a 4-hour chart here. So there's a few reasons why I have that line where it's at. And to me, it wasn't really clear. I feel like I need to move this down. 205. Okay, 205. That kind of is where I wanted it. So look at that, man. This is going to be a nice trade here. 205. We have a nice pullback in here to 205. All right, this is your 4-hour chart. Understand you have your 4-hour trade line below 205. So there could be this could end up failing here if it goes down further. I would like to see this thing hold and start to extend and start bringing that trade line and everything up with it. Um,
I've talked
Now here you go. This leads into my point.
some in Congress, and they
Trade line is starting on the hourly chart.
said they
Just got above some of your price action. Now this candle is like hanging on for dear life.
release the American energy sector
Look at it. Look at that wick
number one energy independent
at prior day's high yesterday. This wedge
export natural, particularly
right
natural
there.
gas to our allies, so they'll be less reliant on countries like
There's that wedge.
And if you're an environmentalist,
I would draw the wedge actually like through, yeah, just like that. Then I would do this.
we have a rule of law.
Not that it matters because that was yesterday right there. Something like that. Leave it like that. Fuck it. Anyway, you want your trade line and VWAP below you if you want to go higher, not above you. You can't be running into it. You got to be pulling back down into it. Okay. 15-minute chart. We are still above the trade line, which is good. That's a good sign. See if you can extend. Start to try to extend here. I would keep yesterday's high on watch. I'd be watching 208, 205. 208 and 205. If we break 205, we more than likely are headed back to 202. All right? If we, let me write this down right now. There's still so much news. All right, TSMT. 510, 516 support for the Qs.
And if you didn't learn any lessons, it would have cost much of anything to have mitigated the high ground.
Yeah, 205, and look at that. So that looks nice there too.
To have secured the AGR complex, the 17
It's our 15-minute chart. Double top high. Double top high. Boom, boom. Okay. I mean, this is how I do my analysis, guys. Let's go look at. So we have room here on the daily chart.
You're going to cost about $400. It's a vigilance. So then not to learn the lessons from that and have the acting director standing right behind the President of the United States.
It's not too bad. You're putting in a new high with the lower high there, even on the MACD and everything else. MACD just trying to make a new high here. I would like to see this thing extend. Damn, that sucks. It's going to need a pullback. All right, so here's the stock that's running today. All right, there's apparently a deal. I've seen this already going through the news. So Carbon Revolution shares soar on a 25 million financing deal. First thing we're gonna do. First thing I'm gonna do. All right, let's go to Google. CREV. CREV market cap 7.2 million. They're getting 25 million on a financing deal. That's huge. Where'd you close yesterday? Again, this is an end all be all. So we'll just say $3.75, $4. You have more than doubled. 4 to 8, 8 to 12. This thing has literally doubled from where it was. 25, 7, 14. So that makes sense. 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's see here. Where were we? 4.
University of Maryland Global Campus isn't just an innovative state school. It's a school for real life, one that values the successes you've already achieved. That's why at UMGC, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and job experience. Why we offer scholarships and affordable tuition, and why we have
25 million financing deal. It's got a market cap of 7.
no application fee if you
just over 7 million. Oh God. This is what happens when Bitcoin and all these other crypto companies start to soar. They're able to take cheap money and turn it into a lot and finance these shit companies. What are they going to do with it? That's the question. What are they going to do with it? If you guys have feedback, yo, comment down below. What what do you guys think? What are you guys watching today? Number one, number two. If you have questions, let me know. Type them in the chat if you don't understand something, or if there's a ticker you guys want to go to. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? I would seriously like to know. All right. I gotta get better at this.
Energy enters into agreement to acquire ultra-safe nuclear's patented modular reactor for $8.5 million. That's November Echo NNE.
See what I mean? Now you're getting all these funded deals. This is absolutely crazy.
Good boys like us rack up some bad vet bills. Spot plans help my owners focus on our care, not the cost. It's no wonder Spot is America's most loved pet insurance. Play with them now, new guy. You're gonna miss them. Choose Spot. For affordable pet plan options you both will love.
All right. All right. So a few stocks here, guys. Let's go. We talked about TSM. I was writing that down. All right.
CX, Carmel announcing PIPE investment from existing and new investors to support commercial build-out. Charlie Tango, Charlie X-Ray.
Inauguration Day and the meeting of world leaders in Davos, plus the first Fed decision of the year. The investing edge you need to start the year ahead of the game. CNBC.
Welcome back to Stockbox. Tomorrow, Netflix and the NFL are teaming up for a very big first streaming Christmas
JTAI, Jet AI launches Ava, agentic AI model for private jet booking. That's Juliet Tango Alpha India, JTAI.
Good morning, Andrew. Well, the NFL's estimated $150 million deal with Netflix marks the first time that Netflix has live streamed a major league sport. And with Netflix shares up 87% in the past year, in part on enthusiasm about Netflix's ad-supported lower price tier, sports are seen as a key way to drive the real-time viewership that is so valuable for advertisers. And after the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight drew reported 60 million streaming households, these live games and the Beyonce halftime performance is seen not just as drivers of engagement for ad dollars, but also for subscriber retention here in the U.S., where Netflix is...
What a way American Airlines and these airlines have come.
Nuclear energy at 28.80 at the high.
We were on these. We talked about these, and we were buyers down here. I'm talking back in October, September, guys. We were buying these things back here. Once we got back up into this base here, $12. This thing's been on a run. All right, so we got TSM. That's the first one. What I have written down here. We are above. We can see every time we get up here this wick. So the yearly high is around 212. The yearly range, I should say. Just want to make sure I don't have this news still up. Okay. Yeah, I don't. So we're good. So I'm actually going to look for a pullback. Just don't know what the hell's going on here.
So tomorrow's games are successful. It could also give the
I
NFL
don't
a reason
know
to negotiate its media
if this is going to hold, is what I'm saying.
its media deal.
All right, I don't. Okay, so that 15-minute looks good. Let's go look. Let's find out right now. Daily chart, we have room. 4-hour chart, we have room. MACD, you can see here, right? This MACD. Okay, RSI, not really topped out yet. You can see this MACD. It's starting to just, that momentum is starting to, we'll see. We could always open up, blast off with some volume today. It is trending. And this gap would, your MACD would obviously, you would see this thing jump. And you would see these things start to, anchor themselves higher. It's going to take a little time, though, on the 4-hour chart. It just doesn't happen overnight. 205, we're holding right now. Trade line's way down here. It's what I'm talking about on a 4-hour chart. Hourly chart, it's almost to it. You know, look at it. See, now it's, if we break this, you're going to start having that hourly 15-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute. It's going to start working its way to where the trade line and VWAP are going to be above you, not below you. And we want them below us if we want to extend higher. So I'm going to look for, honestly, guys, here's this hourly chart, 15-minute. I want to see what happens at yesterday's high. We could just get stuck between this range. If we do that, then I would like to be long TSM later in the week, because a consolidation here would ease our indicators. It would just be a breakout above previous highs, okay? We broke out above previous highs, and then we look for a consolidation. Boom, boom. You know, we trade from yesterday's high to last week's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's high here, whenever that was. And that would allow our indicators, MACD, RSI, volume, you know, you would have a low volume consolidation above previous highs. Bang, shorts, whoever gets nervous, that's a buy trigger for me. I'm looking to extend and break out to new highs. That's what I want to see, to break out to new highs. So today, I would like to see a consolidation here, and then into the end of this week, going into next week, see if we can climb out. Got some serious sell side volume here. So for now, 205, it holds. Let's look for a push into 208. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will more than likely get short at 208. You can see right now, look at the 5-minute RSI. Look at the MACD. Starting to curl back in. Okay? You're not overbought quite yet. It all depends. We'll see where we open. But if you start to extend here, once you get to yesterday's close, you're going to be a little bit oversold in the short term. So I will be looking to get short up here at 208 for a scalp, just for a pullback into 205. All right, 15-minute VWAP. And look, once we open up, depending on where we open up, look what happens when we open up today. You know, VWAP is going to be below us. That 9 EMA is going to be up there at 207.50. So that means we could trade on the 15-minute chart in between VWAP and the trade line, which would mean a nice consolidation in between this zone here at 205 to 208. Unless we can, you know, that consolidation would start to, what would that do? That's going to anchor on both in here. Boom. And then if we can possibly, that's our trade line, then we look to see if we can get above it. Bang. Now our trade line, VWAP, is below us on the 15-minute chart. We use that as the long entry to try and break through the highs. And look here. Look at your RSI here. You're way extended. Okay? And what matters? 9:30 to 4 o'clock. That's what matters, even though today's a short day. So I will be looking for pullbacks off 208. That's going to be my trade idea today. That's just one of them. Pullbacks off of 208. Yesterday's close. All right? That is TSM. And my target's going to be 205, guys. It's going to be this support zone down here. If this breaks, you know, I'll leave a little bit on and see if we can get 204 or 202. But I think 204 would be the... I think 204 is a good area where it's more than likely might find support. If it, you know, really... really, it's 202. But I could see it holding 204, bouncing back into like 206, then maybe you get a 202. I just want that initial pullback off of 208 if we can get that. That's the trade I'm looking for on TSM today. All right, that's TSM. What else do we got here? Dwayne Diesel, what's up, bro? Accused bullish on the 1 hour. You can't just use one. Can't just use one. I wouldn't just use one chart. Listen, even if here's the thing. Just because, even if we are or aren't, doesn't mean, let's just say that if we are, that doesn't mean on the hourly chart that news can't come out at any time. So I want you guys to remember that. I don't, you know, we have resistance here. Okay, you had buyers here. We need to find out 525 to 527, right? This whole zone. Okay, see how there were sellers here before? Okay, and what happened? It got above. They sold. They saw the stock go higher. This is why support becomes resistance and resistance becomes support. It's because this prior sell zone, it broke out to new highs, right? Right here. And what happened? They said, okay, stocks, we're going higher. If it comes back into where I sold, I'm going to flip to a buyer. So that seller flips to a buyer here. Now these buyers say, I'm going to sell if it comes back to my break-even price where I bought, you know, or to minimize a small loss. And what happened? We tested what, 525 yesterday, and what happened? These buyers became sellers. So for now, until we get above yesterday's high or Friday's high, I'm sorry, that's where I'm looking. I'm using Friday's high. We got to get above this area here, 525. You get above it, even if it's low volume, because it's going to be. Then we have room. Yes, we absolutely do. I'm looking for 530, if not 535. Okay, because you have this sell-off from the Fed day that's just going to be, there's just nothing stopping you once we break through Friday's high. We have to get through Friday's high first on every time frame. But remember, just because we get up there doesn't mean that if Russia does something stupid or China does something or we do something, this market will limit down in a hurry. So just remember, we're never safe. We're always at risk to news. But yeah, just watch Friday's high. So I'm not going to say whether we are or we aren't. You know, we got to get through this zone up at Friday's high. And really, because you still have 527.50 also, right? You see these buyers that were here? That were sellers? They said, okay, I'm a buyer. And you have to worry about all these buyers that were here in this zone, it going back to break even and them selling. Because right now, if they bought and they never sold here, which they more than likely did, we don't know. Just saying, it's just, this is how support becomes resistance and resistance becomes support when broken. Okay, you know, there's a flip that happens. You and I, all of us do it, and the majority of retail traders that don't even realize they're doing it. They're turning from, you know, one side of the trade to the other. You know, so think about that. But yeah, so I would watch that. What I would also watch is where's the question you have to ask yourself too, though, is where you are in the market. Are the Qs going to be the best place to be today? TLT still breaking down. All right, the Dow. Still, we tried to gain some ground, and then it got taken back. Okay? So, the part of the market that was weak, that it took a little bit for the Qs and SPY to eventually not really catch up to, but look, they tried to make some ground, and they've just done, look, they're going back to selling off, guys. The sell-off is continuing. Let's look at real quick. All right. So if we go here, let's go check in on the 10-year real quick. I got to hurry up because we have... And look, they're just talking about it on CNBC right now. That's hilarious. I told you guys this. All right. We're looking for 4.8. Not anytime soon, but in the next few months. I told you guys that at this high, I was looking for a pullback and another higher high to be put in with a lower high on the RSI on the 10s, 30s, and the dollar. Okay? 10.8. I want to see if we're going to get to 10.8. I think we're going to 4.8. I'm sorry, 4.8. I think that's where the 10 years headed. 4.8. Right now, they're bouncing, guys. The 30-year, 5%. 10-year, 4.8. 30-year, I'm looking for 5%. All right? And until we get there, that's really, you know, even then, I'd be worried. The dollar might be headed back to 110. It's going to retest this 110 support zone. So if the dollar is going to continue to be strong and yields are going to continue to be, you know, rise today or this week, we want to look for like solar names that are going to be going down. I'm not going to be looking for the tech sector to go up. I'm going to be looking for that part of the tech sector that's going to go down and go down the most off of the 10 and 30s. So stock selection, understanding what's going on right now outside of the daily news to put us in the right place. That's how we can stay consistently profitable, because that's where you're going to get your continuation. That's where the volume's going to be. That's where the real moves are going to happen. And those moves are going to help you make more when you're right than lose when you're wrong. So every day focusing on putting yourself in the right part of the market is the top priority, at least for me. I'm not telling you guys to do that, but it's what I do. And that is why day in and day out, I come on here and I'm still in the game. Still in the game for a reason, you know. And again, some people don't have that, haven't been told just what I told you, right? They don't know to do these things. Put yourself, stock selection. Just remember that, stock selection. Okay? TLT pulling back, yields are rising. So that means, what are we going to look at? If the Dow is going down, this is why I don't want to be here, but you might want to look at banks to go higher. But if the Dow is going to continue to sell off, if equities are going to sell off, then we don't want to just play banks just yet. All right? Matter of fact, JP Morgan is going to be coming into this, prior support zone here. So you may be able to get a pullback back into this zone, 242 rejections on JP Morgan. Really, I would look for like 244. 244, I'm sorry. But this zone here, we would watch. 244. Is that 240 to 244? Yeah, 240. 240 to 244. That zone right there is what I'd be watching. If JP Morgan holds 240 and the Dow can, just stay consolidate, or it's going to be hard for equity markets if yields are going to continue to do that. Okay? And what is that? That is continue to rise. Okay? And I think they still have a ways to go. This is setting up to get short UUP. Okay? Get long TLT. We got long the dollar down here, guys. Okay? We saw yields right here. This reversal, bang. We got into November UUP. I think it was like 28, 29 calls back in September for I think it was, I was trying to get in at 16 cents, but I think it was like 18 to 23 cents. You could have got those, and they're now, let's go look at UUP. Even though it's, December, I think you topped out at like, no, what is this, November? Let's go look at the daily chart real quick. Look at this run. We were there. We were there for this. Yeah, see, 28.50s, 29. And you had, just going into the end of November, it did kind of pull back. But you topped out really in the beginning of December, end of November there at 29. So, but we were down here playing it. And within, a week and a half to 2 weeks, it was already damn near in the money at $28.90, $29. All right, so that's that, guys. Okay, remember, yields are rising right now. TLT still selling off. This is that flush moment. Look at that increase in volume. Put yourself in the right part of the market. So what else could we look for? If yields rise during the trading hours, look at Enphase. Enphase has the 50-day, 20-day solar sector, okay? Let's look for this solar sector here for pullbacks if yields are going to continue to rise. Okay, let me make sure that I have this correct. See, the thing is, there may not be volume with it. Let's see. Investor deadline. Losses have opportunity to lead class action lawsuits. Oh, shit. So, Enphase investors with substantial losses have opportunity to lead a class action lawsuit. That's... So, inflation bonds rebound. All right. I'd be watching this, because if they got to pay out shareholders for some, whether they messed up on accounting, whatever it is, you have resistance up here at like 75.50. All right. And if yields are going to continue to rise, $75.50 to $70 right there, you're probably stuck in that range. So let's go back. All right, I apologize. Give me 1 second. Let's go back to stocks that are trending. I'm getting off course. The SPY is climbing higher. The SPY does not care about yields. So today we talked about, I had the SPY on the right hand side and the Qs on the lower right hand side. Yesterday, the Qs did a good job of continuing to lead us higher. The SPY today, in my opinion, is our leader. Okay, you want to use that. If you're going to trade the Qs, watch the SPY. If the SPY goes higher, because the SPY is above Friday's high. It's above yesterday's high. The Qs are above yesterday's high, but they're running into Friday's high. Okay, the SPY already made its support. DIA, let's go look at the Dow. The Dow, well below Friday's high. All right, below, look, it's below yesterday's close. So the SPY may not be able to hold that much longer if we can't make any progress. And again, the IWM well below Friday's high. And it is above yesterday's close, though, but barely, just a little bit. So I would use the SPY if you're going to trade the Qs. If the SPY starts to take off here, I would trade the Qs. Because what I'm going to do is, or what I would do, is I would use the Qs as the laggard. And I would just let the SPY take me higher. Tell me what we're doing, SPY. Okay? As of right now, it's telling me that I got to break through Friday's high. If we can, if this can continue. You have room all the way up to 600 with your 20-day moving averages up here. Okay? You had a nice break, retest of that 50-day moving average. What time is it? It's 8:50. I got to hurry up, get some more trade ideas here. So we have TSM. All right. And look, you can see, right? The SPY, look at it trying to take off here. And look at the Qs trying to take off. Trying to make it so you guys can see it. Just don't understand why my charts are doing this. There we go. All right. So next thing up on the list. Why does that do that? No, I want this here. Dude. I want this back there. There we go. I don't know why it was taking them together. I don't like that. Alright, so let me refresh. So AVGR we looked at. DRCT we looked at. American Airlines. AMD. Let's go take a look at them real quick. And remember, alright, Amazon. I'm still watching Amazon. I shorted it last week off of this 227, 226.50 zone. All right. And so you can see this rally. We rallied. Okay. You pulled back. Nice bull flag. Boom. Right. And then you extended and you pulled back. And then look. Boom. Right there. To the left. Right there. That bull flag. We rejected it last Thursday. So I took that short along with AI. We were all short AI as well. That was a big one. That one damn near close to 1,000%. I didn't get anything past 450%. I was all out. Like I didn't have any more to sell. I looked at it. It was at 700%. They went to $7 on the 42 puts on AI. We got in, one of my entries was 92 cents. I think I got in again at like $1.28, $1.32, something like that. All right, and that was a trade last week. You could also use this again for a possible rejection. Here you are, this base here at 35 to 40. We got back into 35, 36. We tried to hold. All right, and look at it. It broke down yesterday. Now you're going to retest 36. You could use 36 as a possible rejection zone. Back into 34. That's a $2 move on a $30 stock. That's going to be a 5% move. All right, this thing can trade. If you do not know how to limit order, I'm telling you right now, there may not be much volume, so you need to know how to limit order if you're going to trade options. So just know what you're doing with that stock. So, but again, Amazon, AI, I know there was something else that we traded last week there. All right, let's go to AMD because I don't have much time. I keep yapping, and I'm sorry. So we talked about. So we have So we have Taiwan Semiconductor as one. Let me make sure I have the chat up so I can see everybody. If you guys had any more, just going down means inflationary fears. Why would the dollar go up? Exactly. Listen, that's exactly what's been going on ever since this. The dollar's been going higher with inflation. We're in a backwards. That mindset is exactly in a higher inflation environment. The dollar should be coming down, or with a higher dollar, you would say, right? We shouldn't be in an inflationary environment. Exactly. You're exactly right, Dwayne. But we're in a backwards environment right now. The dollar is strong with high inflation. It doesn't make any sense. It should take you, when the dollar is high, for anybody that doesn't understand what Dwayne and I are talking about, I know that most of you do. If your dollar is strong, it should take you less dollars to buy that good. But it's not. We have a strong dollar, and it's costing you more dollars to buy that same good. That's exactly the environment that we are in. So that type of understanding, just throw it out the window for now. The dollar is what it is, right? We're going to be starting to pull back though after this bounce. I think we are going to pull back. But you are exactly right. I wouldn't say it's inflationary fears. I would say that it's fears of government spending not being there. What does that mean for reinvestments back into? Now listen, I'm all for everything. See, this gets deep because this isn't what we were prepared for when we voted Trump. Okay, we just wanted the government to just get out of our lives. Then they got on to this spending stuff. Sure, we should be able to cut. Now, I posted on Twitter this video that you guys should see. Even if we just cut it by 2% going forward, that's going to put us back on track. Just 2%. So taking 1,000 page to 20 pages, we'll say $1 trillion to, 100 billion. We don't need to cut that much. That's what people don't understand. It may help, but it also may hurt us. There's a reason the United States is the leading innovative country in the world. It's because we reinvest in the colleges and different companies to spend the money for the research and development, from medicines to technology and everything else that it is that we use that keeps us the leading innovator of the world. You can say what you want. I did not get the COVID, whatchamacallit, but I still trust the American people to do what we need to do in a time of a crisis or whatever it is. I have faith in my people. I have faith in their education. I do not live in a conspiracy theory world because I personally know or have been around. I don't live my life that way. In my life, I've been around people that have money, that do a lot for the community, that this conspiracy theory stuff, it's not like it's there. Sure, the president has lied to you about his decline. I've said it here. If you think that he's okay, you have not been around him in the flesh. Okay, outside of articles and videos. My point to that is, it's big pharma this, big pharma that. No, listen, we need to continue to try to be the leading innovator in all sectors, from healthcare to technology to food, whatever it may be. And I feel like it could be fears of what may happen with them trying to do too much. We just wanted Joe Biden and the Obama administration out of our lives. We wanted Big Brother, things like, just the things that they do, defining the companies and going after people, like the dirtbag asshole things that people don't deserve. We just wanted the government out of our lives. We didn't want to go on this crazy crusade of just toppling the Fed, because what you're going to do is you're going to hurt people's retirements. Because people are going to take their money, and the guy working that shovel or that dozer or the electrician, they're not going to be able to sell their 401k in time or know anything on how to do it. But there's other people that will, and there won't be anything left for them. I want you guys to keep that in mind. Sure, we don't have the best system, but guess what? I'm going to tell you guys right now, it does work. We need changes. I just think that yields could be rising in fears of some of the things that are going on right now. Okay? All we needed to do was cut spending by nearly 2%. Now, I'm going to show you guys this video. Go to my Twitter, at Ivy League Trades. And if you guys scroll down, now this guy is really smart. He's a leading tech innovator, Brad Gerstner. Okay, right here. This is it right here. They will, and he says it, will be far more ambitious than simply balancing the budget. Okay, and here's the okay, it was 3%. That can put us back on track. We don't need to go crazy, because when the government spends money, sure, it's gotten wasted by this administration. It's about whether that money that is spent is being wasted or not. We still need to. That money helps put people to work, and I think we're going to be in an environment where if we can continue to spend, money, we're going to have people actually do things. So, but anyway, I don't want to go. So that's why I think yields are also rising is the uncertainty of how far are they going to take it with all this stuff. But again, to keep it simple, with the dollar going higher and inflation being higher, sure, technically we shouldn't be there. The prices should be lower. We've been in that environment for the past 3 years, and we've talked about it a few times on this stream. Just, it is what it is. It doesn't make sense. It's just the environment that we're in. It doesn't, things don't always jive. But anyway, I posed it. You can watch that video. It's a good video. I think it's like 5-10 minutes long, but he's got charts, and it really shows just cutting the spending just by 3 to 5%, 3%. It puts us right back on track. That's just back on track, just a little bit. So anyway, so let's see here. Where are we at? So let me refresh this. So we talked about DRCT, AMD, American Airlines. The FAA canceled that. We'll talk about AMD real quick. See, we've already traded. I've been watching American Airlines, and let me log in real quick. Just logging into my broker real quick again, because I wasn't doing anything. It logged me out. Okay. All right, and again, real quick, if you guys could hit the like button. I don't have the camera on because I'm making some changes, and I just wanted to let everybody know that I've been doing some things here. That's why I haven't been live. I want to make sure that I stay focused on topics and get through to you guys on levels and trade ideas and getting the things out of my mind. Just like the Fed meeting, if you guys were here, I told you guys it's been 2 years. All right, 2.5, and the target range for the Fed was down at 3%. We don't need to be there. Like, if unemployment's still relatively low, they're going to want to save meat on the bone for when something happens, and they're going to start to not lower rates if they don't need to, because of the reason of saving that chunk of rates for if something happens. Because if we just go down to 4 or 3.8 for no reason and don't have to, then something happens, then what does the Fed have? Well, they can add liquidity, yeah, but they only have about 3%, 3 basis points, we'll say, in rates to lower. So if they can save, 4.5 to work with liquidity. So think about it, that aspect's going forward with the Fed meetings, guys, is that if the unemployment rate is still relatively low, expect them to not cut, to just save that little bit of a portion. And if we got one for 2-3 years, they might end up starting to raise. That longer end target of 3% will just get pushed out to 2028, 2030. And we'll just be staying around 4%. If nothing happens, they may. I don't know if they raise rates, but they could. They could. So, but that's still 3, 4, 5 years down the road. All right. So AAL. I don't know if this is going to get much action today. It's recapturing 17. What we could look for here. So we have previous highs up here. I would watch these previous highs. 1 sec. Nah, you know what? I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move this up here to 1725. I'm actually going to look to get long on pullbacks. If we can get a test of like 1725. Oh, we are underneath yesterday's close. Shit. So we're underneath of it now.
Demand is there, and United and Delta are heavily exposed on business travel.
I should have grabbed this long down at 16 when I had the chance. I was just trading other things. I didn't even think about this. I was watching it. I think we got to wait for pullbacks, guys, down there at like 1680. I would look for, I don't know where you're going to get it, honestly, because right now I'd be looking for pullbacks on American Airlines off of 1720. Okay, and I'd be looking for pullbacks back into this zone here at like 1690, 1680. So yeah, look at that. That actually lines up. That actually lines up. We'll see, though. We'll see where we're at when we open up, guys. So I'll use that as a trade idea. All right, is looking for like, could look for 20 cents on the downside. And then if we can get that long to see if we can break, if the market is strong again. All right, we need the markets behind our back. If yields are going to continue to rise, I'm only going to take this American Airlines trade to the downside just for the fact of, you know, and maybe that's the wrong way to play this. Maybe there's no trade on this just yet. I'm gonna just scratch American Airlines right now. If you get the chance at like 1690 and you see it holding on low volume pullbacks, see if you can break back. I would look long down here is what I would say, guys. I would look at like 1690. I'd be looking long into this zone here. All right, right in here. If you end up holding right there, you can see you've already wicked into it. You can see you wick, and then look, VWAPs down here. You should have VWAPs starting to come in. All right, and then you start to meet it, bang, and then you look for that, you know, that long entry down there at like $17, $16.90 to break above yesterday's high, pull it back, and then $17.50. 1740 would be the zone, and then, you know, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. I no trade for me here, guys. All right, on American Airlines just yet, unless we continue to reject. We'll see what happens, because like there's two ways I could play this. Like if we end up getting back to 1725 here, and we see some nice rejections, I don't know. We've already. I'm done. I'm not even going to trade American Airlines. Let me just forget about this thing. It's not a trade right now for me. Okay, so let's see here. What else do we have? So AMD had a nice day yesterday. Looks like it's already pulled back. AMD, I would look for... Looks like we have a little bit of a gap fill here. This is a really nice support zone yesterday. This is a nice buy. I missed it. Look, you guys can see I had this level here in the bottom right at 120. Looking for pullbacks back into 120, and we got it yesterday. I wasn't here. It sucks. It's all good, though. I mean, I don't want to be stingy, but I would still like 100. I need that like 100 zone down here. So that's 130. Use 130. 128, 130. Okay, and we're above yesterday's highs. Same thing with AMD. I'm going to look for pullbacks in the prior day's high. I don't know if there's going to be a trade. Remember, it's a half a day today. Yeah, AMD might be stuck. You might pull back into 126 All right. This thing might pull back into like this 126 to 125.50 zone right here. I'll draw a box for you right in here. I think you start to pull it back. And then like it just, you know, the question is, can you break? Do you have enough volume today? I don't think you do. To get back to 132. 132 would be your, you know, that flat top resistance you would watch for. And also, yeah, 130, 132 is like, is that support zone. It's not, I don't know. It's just like a, it's kind of weird. But that would be the next target of resistance. You know, that's a target. It's going to be tough today, guys. It's looking a little tough out there. I haven't been paying attention much to AMD. Yeah, I would look for pullbacks, and, you know, I would be worrying about if you take anything today, like just the two that we're looking at, American Airlines, outside of even Taiwan Semiconductor. That's really the only thing I have written down this morning is TSM. I'd be looking, you know, pullback long at like 126, 125.80, and if I get, you know, $2-3 out of this, I'm taking my money. I just think that everything that we're looking at, you just don't have room unless the markets try to, you know, if the SPY takes off. Let me keep looking at the list. We still have time. So look at the SPY. So the SPY is still going. And what did we say? Use the SPY as your gauge for the Qs, and look what's happening. The SPY is taking the Qs higher right now. Yeah, see, now we're about to be in no man's land. As soon as we start holding 196 and we get pullbacks into 195.80 pre-market highs, we're going. You know, this thing is just, it's going to be on a one-way ticket to back into 600. So I might be trading SPY today. I might be. Apple not doing anything. my throat's getting dry. Sorry. So yeah, AMD though, you know, you pull back into prior day's high, you just have to understand, be taking profits. If you get that long off, if 126 holds, make sure you're taking your money in front of 128 because you have this flat top resistance here. Okay. If we open up at 930 and we're above it, then that's obviously the bigger range, right? That would be 127 longs, or I'm sorry, yeah, 127.50, 128. We'd use this 128 zone as our long, and then we're looking for 132. That would be really nice. That would be a nice trade. All right, take some of your profits in front of 130 and see if you can get up into that 132 zone. So these are the ranges, right here. It's going to be, if we don't get through 128 and we get a pullback off of it, then I'm going to look long at 126, taking profits in front of 128, which would be $2. If we open up at 930 above 128, then I'm going to use 128 as the long, targeting 132. Those two ranges right there is what I'm going to be playing. All right, that's AMD, if I trade AMD. All right, let's go to the list. Let's make sure we refresh it. We still have Rivian, Crowd. We had a lot going on. We have Nike, FedEx had news, Eli Lilly, Hims. So there is a lot out there. Remember, Micron. So if semiconductors, right now we're writing down longs on semiconductors. I'm sorry. We have a short on TSM as of right now. Let's check in on it. So what I have written down is a 208 short targeting 205, and if 205 breaks on TSM, we're looking for 202. Damn, you might not even get that. Hold on. Might get 200 out of that. I don't know if you go that far though. I'm just gonna keep it at that 202. All right. So yeah, that would be that little support zone from yesterday. So TSM, I'm looking for a rejection up here, and 208 targeting 205. But if 205 breaks, I'll leave a little on for like 204. I think you'll hold 204 though. I do. I think it holds 204 here. That's this little pivot high right there. All right. 205, 204 targets off of 208. And I'm taking my money if we get that pullback there. Because, again, what I'm saying here is on TSM, for those that just joined us, hit that like button for me, subscribe. I'm doing a giveaway, 1,000 subscribers. Is that we broke above out of these previous highs. And now we're starting to hold it. So a consolidation would only build up the strength to break out to new highs. All right. So if you want to go higher on TSM, you want to consolidate between 208, 205. The longer you do it, the higher you're going to go. That's all I'm going to say. Or I'm not going to say that, but I will say the longer you consolidate, the probability, the higher it is that it's going to go. We have Tesla. Let's look at Tesla also. SMCI real quick. We'll just touch base with that one. This thing is just hanging out, not really doing much. Intel, while we're looking at semis. Intel. If you get, I can see this right now. If Intel, guys, if Intel gives you $20 and holds 20, see, then it changes up. Yeah, I'm going to take that back. I'll take that back. I was going to say, because it did it yesterday. You guys can see here on Intel. You can see how it pulled in at the end of the day. It pulled right into $20. And where's it going? 21. Looks like 21, this flat top resistance there. Looks like a really nice target for Intel. Taking profits, half of it off at 2050. NVIDIA. Oh, shit. What a beast. She's been on one, huh? All right. Look at this, man. All right, so this is a nice daily chart here, too. All right, 50-day moving average. We kind of halted at it yesterday on NVIDIA. So I'm going to put this here. Boom. Now, the reason I'm doing this is so that I have it on the chart. Oh, man, and we have a gap here at 142. NVIDIA has a nice setup here. I might trade this going into... I might go out 2 weeks on. I might swing trade this, guys. This is a really, really nice thrust in volume, you know, relative for a holiday week here. Do you think Intel has a chance to fill that gap on the daily? Let's look at it. Let me start bringing the daily up more. Where's the gap at? Oh, up here? That's what I have. You see that triple bottom low here? Here's how I would do this. I wouldn't be worried about the gap because technically you know, the thing is you got to worry about 22 before we worry about the gap. And I would take it at that. I would be watching the news because here's the thing. I would wait, let this try to put in a double bottom and see what type of news press releases come out. Because so many people are going to try to, that's, you know, front running a move. Hey, we have a gap above us. I'm going to buy it because I think we're going to fill it. Well, can you sit through a move back down to $12? You know, watch the volume. My key with this is I would just watch it. I wouldn't make any guesses. I wouldn't be worrying about what it is or what it is or what it isn't going to do. I would be sitting waiting for what we're putting in now is like a double bottom, okay? Um, right here, boom, that's a bottom, like a V-shaped bottom here. And I would say I want to see a volume day on the lows where you get a volume bar that looks like this, where you get like 200 million share buyers for like a day or two, right? Boom, boom. I want to know because like here, what happened? Look what happened afterwards. Bang, you had a nice run. You were able to get the run and take profits because you had institutions at your back. I would wait for that. I'd wait to watch that volume. I want to see it 1 to 2 days of just a massive increase in volume, whether or not it's off of news or not. Because whether or not we can fill that gap, the question is, we're here to make money. The gap is not really irrelevant, but I would at least like to know that I'm going to get a continuation where I would be able to have profit as an insurance in case it doesn't fill the gap. I mean, every company can go out of business. I'm not saying Intel is going to. I'm not saying Boeing's going to. I'm just saying what would be more important isn't are we going to fill the gap, but, you know, what's going to happen with this if this thing starts to break down past, 1750? You start getting down into here, dude, you're going to see algorithms start to spit this thing up, and this thing may get cut in half. You go from 20 to 10, this market cap gets cut in half. Then what's that mean? That means you start getting credit downgrades. They may not be able to, they're going to have to start laying off. They may not be able to pay their bills. This thing really might be done. Then there would be talks of a buyout. So that would be the question I would be worried about more so first. Then are we going to fill the gap? Can we get some institutional buyers here? Because you have, look at this. You have the 20, the 100, the 50, the daily trade line, all right smack in your face. So you're not going to be able to climb up. 20, 100, 50, all right there within 50 cents of one another. So as soon as you break ground, bang, you get resistance. Not only do you have this resistance level, but you have moving averages that are going to be hitting you. So there's everything to keep this thing down and nothing to keep it going up right now. All right, that's what I see with this chart. The only thing that you have for the upside is just it's on its ass. But it also hasn't done anything in the past 20 years. So why would it do anything now? Think about this. This is 1997. People that have owned this, and some of them may be deceased. People that have owned this, oh, you know what? Look at this monthly candle. This is a huge cup and handle. That is a huge cup and handle, guys. Look at that. Boom, boom. But here's the thing. You don't have the volume really in the places you need it. Like, you don't want these big sell side volumes. So we'll see if you can just get some type of buying pressure down. See, I think if you get down to 15, I will buy some, but not a lot. All right, just because I can't let it go, because I would be comfortable with if the worst case scenario that there's a buyout. They're obviously going to buy it at a discounted price, not a higher price. Some people get it mixed up. Like when you see, oh, there's a buyout, like whatever, the stock usually goes higher, but the person buying it wants it at a discount. They don't want to pay up. They want to pay down. But I would be more so worried about the downside than the upside. That's where my focus would be. All right. I want to see volume. All right. I want to see volume on that, Dwayne. Right? Because, again, the point to that being, I have proof that institution big money is behind me to help continue higher to bid this thing up. And I can take some profits off the table. So I'd be managing my risk for that. Really not even the gap, but $25. You got to worry about 25, getting above and holding 25 before we worry about the gap. I don't know. I think Intel has a good product. I have an AMD Zen 7, Ryzen 7. It's just what I went with. I kind of feel like I should have went with an Intel. I don't know. Should I have gotten a Threadripper or a Ryzen 9? I don't know. Maybe. But I'm not a tech. I wish I was a tech guy. I just don't know that much about it. But I can see where AMD kind of slips up from time to time that I've heard Intel doesn't do. Okay, but again, it could be the processor that I have, this, that, and the third. But anyway, I would just we keep focused on the volume on Intel down here at this $19, $20. Let's see institutions. We want to see institutions come in and buy this thing because they may know something we don't. Okay. Remember, guys, we talked about Baba. All right. There's so much news. If Alibaba continues to hold 86, look for a move to 88. FedEx, there was news on this last week. All right, this is one of the leaders in this area. This thing is starting to break down. Let's go to a daily chart. I feel like I just missed something that I was going to do. Oh, NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm getting lost here. Sorry, let's go back to NVIDIA. I got to hurry up here because it's 9:25. We got 5 minutes. All right, flat top resistance up here. Look, nice breaking retest on NVIDIA, guys. All right, I can tell you guys right now. Boom. Boom. And I got that. We got this. All right. 142, 146. If we can continue to hold this 50-day moving average. Continue to watch the Qs and the dollar. We want to see the dollar and yield start to pull back. It looks like the dollar's trying to right now. Let me see something. Just don't know if it's going to happen. No. The dollar might pull back a little bit, but it's got support at 108. QQQ. And of course, the Qs are trying to pull back off of that 424. I'm sorry, 524. Look, it just rejected 524.75. It's pulling back off of yesterday's high. This is why I said we needed to see where we were when we opened. All right, real quick, this daily chart on NVIDIA. All right, we got to talk about this. Nice little head and shoulders here. But this is what I'm watching right here. This area right here, I can probably get rid of all this stuff. Damn it. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. I'll get rid of this. So you have this flat top resistance. Okay, this red line is your 50-day moving average. But right here at 140, if we open up, let's say if we open up, we're here. All right, let's look for pullbacks into that 50-day moving average. I'm gonna download a pen or some sort. See, we don't see our support level is really down here at 138. Yeah. I want to hold 140, guys. If we can hold 140, all right, then I'm looking for a gap fill. I'm looking for a move back to 142. And if you break above 142, see, here's the thing. I'm going to put a dotted line here for the gap. So we know that when we watch Intel today, that dotted line is the gap. That is our gap. Just like Micron, perfect trade off the gap. We wrote it here. Pre-market, you guys can see right here. All right, if you guys can't see my cursor, it's right here. There's your gap, and then we were below it. And what happened? You can see we wrote it there. If we go to a 5-minute, you'll see. Look what it did. It tested it after that day after hours, and then it tested it again, and we got short right where? Right at the gap. So let's see if NVIDIA works its way to the gap. All right. Works its way to the gap. Look, Micron trying to break down a little bit here. Could have a little... I don't know. I would look to trade it back to 84, honestly. So let's go back to NVIDIA. We could sit in this range. Keep an eye on $90, $91. If you reject it, look for a move back into the mid to low 80s on Micron. Could be a nice little trade there, unless you have whatever. Oh shit, 8 seconds, guys. So yeah, looking for a hold of the 50-day, and we're looking for this gap fill on NVIDIA. Good luck today. Let me turn the volume down before we get hit in the ear. That's what I do. All right, good luck today, guys. And there it is. Look at that. We open up. Look at us pulling right into front yesterday's close. Look at those buyers that just stepped in there. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Keep an eye on that flat top resistance here, all pre-market. Let's go. Come on, it's good. We're overdone. We're overdone. We are overdone. Support there at 139.50 wick. Boom. You just hit it. Come on. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I should have done... today's stream was bad, and I do apologize. So 145. All right, if we cannot hold, we have a gap below us on NVIDIA at 135. Just so everybody's aware. All right, looks like we know what it's going... Okay. So you can see NVIDIA is trying to hold that 9 EMA. Let's go here. So I have that. I have the daily chart. What the fuck is going on here, man? I have so many lines. No. I hate this. When I'm spending my time worrying about my getting my chart straight and not being ready. All right, so the Q's just pulled in. We want to see the Q's hold 524. We want to see this thing hold 524. We got to get above last Friday's high, though. We got to get above it. Keep an eye on the Q's. There goes NVIDIA. God damn it, man. This is fucking pissing me off, and I'm sorry for my language. Starting next week, streams, I'm not going to be cussing. We're going to get this. Dude, what is going on here? Okay. All right, let's go. Man, there's still a little bit of selling pressure there. Dude, I hate when it's all the way up to the top right of my screen. I'm just going to have to do this, guys. Fuck. Keep an eye on the volume. Got some really nice volume. There it goes. I missed it. I missed it. Gotta be fucking kidding me. God damn it, bro. We'll see if we can get a pullback here. All right, so you guys can see this little gap fill up here at 142.
Will be put through into law by 2026. Also, banks have had a problem with the whole process for years. I'm told 5 years ago there were all these changes to the stress test, which is really what irked some of the bankers, just the whole process being shrouded in secrecy. So
And there's not much selling pressure up there either at 142
presented by Gene Scalia,
to be worried about.
Labor Secretary, son of the Supreme Court Justice. So some high-powered legal fight that's going to come. Clearly they feel confident. Otherwise, I think it would be it's a pretty big deal that they launched this suit. Don't think we've seen anything quite like this. So the banks are up. Technology and consumer discretionary. Those are your other better performing sectors.
The other big story of the morning as we
So they're saying banks are one of our top performers today. We talked about yields being higher, so watch JP Morgan. All right, we said to watch that. Let me see here. So here we are. So looking for, you know what, 240. Let's watch the volume here on JP Morgan, because if we hold 240, we might have room to 245, and that's a huge trade. That's a big trade for banks. That's a 2%, upside. But for banks and JP Morgan alone, that could make for a really nice trade if it's able to hold. I don't know if it's going to hold, though.
Absolutely. Also, U.S. Steel's back in the news. This is a saga that never
Oh, my gosh.
But there's news here, and that is
No.
the committee, as part of the U.S. government, could not reach a consensus on whether
Apple's trying to break out to new highs, guys. It's up at that previous high. TSM's down at 205 right now, guys. Watch 205 if it continues to hold. Oh, look, it's breaking. Let's see. If TSM breaks 205, you have room down to 202. All right, it's probably not a trade. I need it at 208 to get short. I hate how these charts are. I really do. Usually we have, we can see it and it's not all anchored to the top of the thing on auto zoom, but it's what it is today. Sometimes the charts just end up that way. All right, let's keep an eye on Rumble as well, you guys. Don't forget about that. RUM. I mean, listen, that's a huge investment, I'm telling you.
The Steelworkers Union, very powerful union, is against it. The election ran through Pennsylvania, so it was a politically charged issue. U.S. Steel is a great American company with legacy American. Biden has said he's against it, so he now has 15 days to decide whether he wants to terminate the deal. If he does so, as expected, there could be legal challenges, of course, that will punt this over into the Trump administration ultimately. Trump has also publicly said he's against it, but I know he's speaking with a lot of business members from various sectors, and I do wonder if there's an opportunity for him to make some sort of deal where he can
Damn, this thing's going again.
to get them on board
Shit.
and do this deal. Unclear.
I'm taking a look, since we're talking about this story, at Stockmarket Cleveland Cliffs, which has been
Sorry.
many times in the context
It's
of
all good.
steel company deal making. The shares are down 1.25%.
So RUM's taking off. NVIDIA's taking off now. I need a pullback into that 140.50 zone. I missed this trade. It's my fault. I was not ready for the day. That's what you get. That's what happens. And look, because it already pulled. You can see here on this 1 minute chart, you broke through the pre-market highs. And what did it do? It pulled right into 140.50. Now it's extending higher. I don't have time to go through the options chain, see where I want to be, and this, that, and the third. So it's all good.
This current U.S. Steel Nippon would fall apart or be killed by President Biden, then you start wondering, well, who's next?
I traded it yesterday a little bit. I'm okay on it. I'm not ready for it. I think it's about topped out. See, look at that. I think it's about done. I think this valuation is the investment. It has a $3 billion market cap. They invested 775 million, which is just under half the market cap. It closed at $7 on Friday. It doubled its market cap. Okay, went to 14. I think that's about where it needs to go. But yeah, you know what? You could be right here. Let's see if we get this daily chart. We talked about this daily chart here. 1350. If you get pullbacks into 1350, that's why I have this zone here. And look at this. Look at the 1 minute chart on the top left. You have VWAP right there. If you get a pullback and hold this, here's our 3 minute 1350. I actually may look to go long. But the problem with that is, look at the volume. We don't have, I still want to see volume there. If we don't have any volume, I'm going to be a little bit hesitant, and I don't know if there's going to be as many traders that are willing to add on risk after you just made money yesterday on it. Why do you want to over leverage yourself on something that, if the volume isn't there, it's telling you that the trade may not be there just yet. But yes, pullbacks into 1350. Which would be another break above that previous high at 1350, 1360. And we look to extend higher into like 1725, 1730. So you can see here this double top high. We got above it. So yeah, I would be open to that. It's not going to give it to us. So it is what it is. Or it may. It's not going to give it to me. I needed it down into 1375 or so. It still could. Just keep an eye on your trade line and everything. Is it? Yeah, there's a lot breaking out right now. I feel like I've missed my trades. Yeah, I've already missed them. I missed them. I'd be taking money off up here. I'd be taking pieces. I'd be piecing out of this trade already, not adding to it. So, and you're in no man's land with Palantir. So I would use your ATR and wait for pullbacks. You'll get a pullback here. I think we'll get a pullback, even though it's got a half a day. I still think you'll get a pullback. I'd be watching $83. Let it pull it, put in a pivot high or so. Let it pull back. Let it try to break through that pivot high. Man, fucking NVIDIA. I hate you, NVIDIA. I really do. I cannot believe I was not ready. Like a fucking idiot. He's making a good point here. He's saying like NVIDIA, Tesla, like Oracle's up 60%. Damn. Vistra, United. Yeah, like look, United Airlines is up 141%. Texas Pacific 117. Constellation 95. Vistra 265. That's year-to-date gains. We knew we could get 100% out of American Airlines. We knew we could get just about a double. At least we didn't know, but we looked. The chart was telling us, hey, you're more than likely, you should at least be able to double here because you had, United Airlines, which is another one that we not only traded, but we bought it. Look at this thing. This thing ripped. This was your leader. We traded it to the downside, then we traded it to the upside. And we got our confirmation of the previous earnings. Where they had said that, they were going to start making a change. That's been the play of the year, And what was the latest company to give it to you? Nike. They're following the same playbook. I've been talking about this here. Now, Nike's a little bit different. We just have to wait for their next earnings for them to put up or shut up. But they told us, hey, we're going to start, fixing stuff around here. So that's your warning. Like Carvana, CEO came out and said we're making a change. Change for the better, for the good. PayPal, right? Upstart. All these we bought. Upstart was probably our biggest winner this year. Or my biggest winner. Alright, I bought this thing 2 quarters ago. Back here is when they said it. We had a confirmation down here in the 20s, 26, low 30s. And this thing went all the way up to $90. So, I will continue to hold some. But I just, I'm not going to let a stock be up. I'm not going to get 200% out of a stock and this thing double and triple and me not take my money. All right. So back to the trade. Let's go look at Micron. So NVIDIA's climbing higher. Micron's selling off. Volume's not too bad. Volume isn't too bad here. Oh, this thing might hold. This thing might try to hold. Look at that. There was your previous resistance. We're pulling back in it to hold it as support. And look what we just got. Look what you just got here. Look at the volume. The sell side volume just collapsed. Nice wick there. Keep an eye out on $88 on Micron. If it holds. I know I keep moving my charts. I do apologize. It's just the setups make everything look so weird. This 88.50 zone on Micron is also prior day's low. Dude, why is my 15-minute chart not? Everything should be saved. Hold on. Yeah, that was weird. And there it goes. So NVIDIA's right up into $142. I need to find a trade, man. I don't need to find one, but let's look at yields real quick. Qs are climbing higher. Because this is going to... Here, you know what? I can go here. Alright, TLT is starting to climb. So let's go... Let me look at the 10s. Oh, shit. Not there. Here. Yeah, I want to say shout out to whoever gave brought up UNH as well. So that's still a new high. I don't think it's safe yet. Let's go check up on Amazon. Let's refresh this. CMND. Let me look at the scanners. Oh, you know what? I think we might have some bond auctions as well. I think. I haven't looked at the economic calendar either. Yeah, like all the stuff that's trending is or small caps.
I've been looking for.
Go to ucora.com to learn more.
No application fee if you apply by February 12th at University of Maryland Global Campus, an accredited university that's transformed adult lives for 75 years. You're not waiting to win. You're ready to succeed again at umgc.edu.
I see ambition as enriching your entire life. Your financial life, your personal life, and the lives of people
What's
around
today?
you.
Today's Tuesday.
My ambition is to build people up.
So we have Richmond Fed Manufacturing here at 10 o'clock. We have 2-year and 5-year note auctions at 11:30, you guys. All right.
Winners of the year, just adding to their gains, and not in substantial ways. Palantir adding another 4%. It is the best performer.
Let's go to the most active. RGTI, Palantir, Lucid, SOUN, AMD.
Report been a big winner. And Vistra, this is the utility, not so sleepy utility that has risen to the very top of the S&P 500 this year on the boom in AI and just how much
Oh, that's not
electricity and
good.
energy it's going to require.
240 rejection on JP Morgan. Let's watch AMD. Damn it. So AMD pulled right into that zone. Is that what we said?
About this deal,
Hold on here. Dude, my daily chart is not saving.
what he thinks about it, some historical perspective, and what it means for the auto industry. That's all coming up in the next hour. Keep it here on Squawk on the Street.
Michael and I founded Origin Investments in 2007 because we believe investors deserve better. We believe better means fair fee structures, managers with skin in the game, and institutional quality real estate. It's why we created our all-weather.
Yeah, well, no, I said that. I told you, I mentioned this morning. I'm not, it could have been before you were on, that volume is going to be low, but that still doesn't mean that we can't extend. Just if you have consistent, if everyone is consistently on the same side as the trade, you can get that continuation. It is tough. Like the trade ideas today, like NVIDIA, you needed to be on it right at the open. I wasn't ready. Look at this. Just pulled right in, bang, pre-market low, 50-day moving average, right into this zone, 139.50, boom. Here's actually a pullback right now. The question is it worth it? Is it worth taking the risk from 141 to 142, 142.50 for the gap? What's the risk to reward, right? What's my risk? Really, I would say the 50-day. So there's I would say just under that. So that would be your risk. And that's kind of your reward. So you're like 1-to-1 there. That's, it's less, actually. It's a little bit less. So that's going to put you backwards if things go wrong. Because, sure, you could pull back and you could hold pre-market highs, but there's got to be a point where you say, where you have to let the stock do what it needs to do. And that's a double top at prior day's high, 50-day. Everything is leading up to 139, right? And you're at 141. So you got to give it at least $2, if not $2.25. A little bit of room because you could get a wick and then for that reversal. You know what I mean? So you had to be on it. It is tough. It is tough to trade right now. I think I might end up go for a pullback here. It might be too soon, but if I get the opportunity up here at 142 again, this might sound dumb, but I might go for a scalp pullback on NVIDIA. I'll let you guys know what I do, what options I go to. I need to watch Amazon. That was my stock. I've been watching it for 2 weeks now. It's the most time I've ever spent watching that thing. So 142 shorts back into 140 and see if we can break 140. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I'm not here to force anything. Obviously, the volume is to the buy side. I don't have anything other than resistance and overbought stating, it's a little bit overdone. So it's not that this thing's overdone. It's just got a lot of relative strength and continuation. She might be headed for 145 to 146.50. That would be the top end of this trade. That's a nice pullback there, but look, see how the volume just dropped off there? Like, here's your pullback. Boom. You want to see that volume start to increase right here. Right? You want that volume to increase, right? These are all buy triggers right there. But they're not. So, let's see if the momentum shifts. Again, I appreciate everybody being here. If you guys could hit that like button for me, subscribe. I'm doing a giveaway to 1,000 subscribers. It helps the stream. If you guys want to, give any donations or a one-on-one or a contribution to the stream, it goes to the stream. The link's in the description. Follow me on Twitter at Ivy League Trades. Again, I want to let you guys know, going into the new year, I have really focused on. I'm in the back here. I guess you could say I'm making a lot of changes here, hopefully for the better. And the main focus here is for me to get better at explaining my thoughts, hearing back from you guys, which I always want to hear back from you guys on things that I can do better, like the areas I'm failing, the areas I can get better at, all that good stuff. So any feedback is greatly appreciated. I will say, listen, I am not embarrassed. It is what it is. I'm not embarrassed, but I have horrible ADHD to the point where I should be taking medication for it. So, but after watching a lot of my streams back, and a lot of them are going to be erased because, I want good content out there. I need to focus on getting what it is that's inside of my head out to y'all. And sometimes it's hard for me to do that when I'm not listening to myself to give it. So I want to make sure that I have clear explanations. Like right now, this is a nice, what you would want to say is like somewhat of a bull flag, right? But this is a buy trigger. This is literally a buy trigger, and they're not buying. Here we go. We're going to find out. I'm not trying to press it on timing, but here, see what I mean? See, here it goes. Let's see. You want to see this volume start to increase right here. You want to see this thing increase. What time is it? It's 9:57. So remember, we have Richmond Fed Manufacturing coming up. Some news, too, to give you guys some insight for some things that were going on from last week to this week. Micron, all right, FedEx, Nike, Amazon, Tesla are just a few names that had catalyst and news behind them last week that could be carried into today or, into this week or next week. Disney was another one that was starting to get mentioned in the headlines. Let's go look at Palantir real quick. Palantir, what a... just a runner. She's a runner. She's a track star. All right, GameStop. Also, GameStop going right back into that zone. If this thing breaks out, it might be an early Christmas. Look at the volume starting to increase here off of that extension. This is exactly what you didn't get on NVIDIA. Look, watch 3140. Let me auto zoom.
Did you know BetMGM has responsible gambling tools so you don't get carried away? I never get carried away.
You guys notice how gambling and like addiction has been working its Wall Street Journal and other news outlets are trying to push that narrative. Sure, you might have some kids that are new. Like, here's the thing: you have to remember that, like, we were all excited when you first get in. It's an exciting thing, right? You're like, man, some people are like, I might be able to overcome these obstacles, whatever it is that they have in life. It gives everyone a fair shot at just, money's not going to solve everything, but you know, possibly help you own a home, have a retirement, have a life. Maybe you're able to have things you thought you may not be able to have. So there's hope, right? And it's exciting when it's new. And some people, it's not about the market or sports. I mean, listen, guys, this year there's like 12 or 14, 12 was it 14-4. I have to look through. It was either 12 or 14-4 in college football this year. Okay, the person is always going to take whether it's the market, sports gambling, whatever it is in life, maybe decisions down to just daily decisions that they make. It's in the person. It's not the market. It's not sports. It's not gambling. Oh, just because it's on your phone does not change whether or not you respect and have respect for your money. People that lost their money with Hawk Tua, the fact that they are even buying it in and of itself, to me, shows they do not care about their money, whether because they live at home or their kids or whatever the reason, or they just don't respect their own money. That is on them. All right, there's got to be self-accountability, not just, hey, we've given you this tool and we got to take it away from you because you can't handle it. And we don't want that. But we also do have to be smart enough to know that there are just going to be bad actors no matter what you let people do. No matter what it is, what area it is, whether it's gambling, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's money, whatever, tech, hacking, like, you know what I'm saying? There's always going to be a few, and that, in my opinion, guys, would be not the thing that it is they're doing, but with the person that themselves, that no matter what it is that they do, they were going to have addictive personality no matter what. And I just seen like Wall Street Journal putting this, and like people not being able to sleep, getting, like, if you need help, get it, obviously. I'm not saying that someone doesn't need help, but you should still be responsible enough to not put yourself in a stupid position. Sure, I have had that happen to me. Listen, this is a roller coaster type of career. The market changes. Maybe you see the changes. You just can't adapt. And you're just down. And the way you talk to other people, or just you're down, you don't eat, you're not happy. Those things happen. It happens to me. We're human. But being aware of it is the first thing that we can help solve that issue. I just ask that you guys, just whoever is out there that doesn't respect their money, please start having respect for your money. Have respect for yourself. Have respect on where you want to take yourself, because that's the whole point, is you want to be able to purchase something that you can sell at a higher price or a lower price to be able to benefit from, to build and create your net worth. That is how I started, by buying companies. I didn't just start by buying calls and puts. I bought companies, then I was selling some spreads with the companies that I owned. And then I slowly got into options trading. I didn't have to blow my account up. And I hope that that's not you. And if it is you, reach out. You got to stop now, because you're going to continue to see this market go higher, and your account is going to stay the same or even lower and lower, and just keep funding it. And you never crawl out of whatever hole you're in. You have to be able to understand whatever, if you're, using your paycheck to put a portion, a savings account, make sure you have that savings there. And as you build it up, understand that number that you have, your job is to just make that number bigger. I'm going to use 10,000 as an example. I can take that $10,000. I can use 1,500 to 2,000. I can sell some spreads. I can take another 2 to 4,000. I could have stocks like Palantir, Upstart, or whatever stocks that are rising. Bang! I got some money at work with the stock itself with relative strength. I got a little bit for spreads. I got a smaller portion for some options. I got a little bit in cash, and I have. There's just so many different ways to use whatever it is that you have to just grow that number. You know. Ah, that sucks, man. Listen, but you're not negative. So let's look at it like that. Because what could come, in my opinion, could be drastically different than that. You could see people with 100K that go down to 20K and then just can't handle it, and then that's when the market starts to lift. I got to be honest with you, if we keep going, if Elon and Donald and them, if they keep going like this, because I said this back in October, I said that we have a spending bill that was coming up in December, and if you went on Google, you couldn't find it. But it was the defense spending bill, and I kept looking. I'm like, I know that there's a bill that's supposed to be passed, that they had the deadline was in December, and I just couldn't find it online. And it was the defense spending bill, and I'm like, you try to look it up, and it's like a nightmare just trying to see, okay, what bills are is it important? Is it not important? So the next one though, guys, is I think in the summer of 2025. So if you guys want to look it up, or if you hear things and talks about it, the next one will be in the summer of 2025. Sure, the credit rating for the United States might get a little bit better, but if we start losing money in research and development, and listen, as a whole, because what we've had take place was the leaders, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, they all went up. Then what did we have essentially? Then we had the mid-tier, right? You had some banks start to follow. You had healthcare still at highs, consolidating. Then what did we had? We had regional banks, and then we had like the Carvanas, PayPal's. We had that small cap start to follow, right? That is a healthy market, right? Leaders leading, laggards lagging a year later, right? And taking some of that money and knowing where to put it, like we did. We were in Upstart. We were in airlines. We traded them and we bought them. Okay? And it's just knowing that shift and understanding, okay, cool. Right? It's not really just small caps, we're going, but you also had, transportation names. More so the airlines. The reason we found that too, by the way, is we were trading and we listened to United Airlines earnings calls. And we already knew by that information that that we were looking for them to start having earnings that were going to come in being good. And then they, in fact, the very next quarter on UAL, they did. All right. You can go back to like September, I think it was, right here, right, where they sold off, right here. Okay. This was the quarter where they were like, we're going to start making a change. And if you ain't on board, sorry, guess what? They started rising, going into what? Into this quarter, because it was expected that they were going to do better. And they started going, and look at that relative strength. And then what else did we have? We had volume behind it. There was a nice volume behind that. I want to say also, yeah, there was this nice support level that we had here, but again, the dollar, airlines, these were some of the Upstart. Really, it was airlines, United Airlines, American Airlines, Upstart, and UUP, which was a trade. I didn't buy UUP even though I should have, but the dollar. Those were our longs going into the end of the year. So, what I'm going to do is over the break too, which we'll do later on this week, is like, okay, so here's one, like JetBlue, right? Like if we're going to be able to, if the market's going to at least hold up and consolidate, American Airlines, JetBlue are your laggards in the airline section. So you would want to start to see JetBlue, American Airlines start to catch up with the rest of, the leaders in the airline market. And if they don't, then there's a problem there. Then chances are United Airlines doesn't hold up. Okay? The leaders don't hold because think of it, I was taught, think of it like a pyramid, an upside down pyramid, or even upright, right? The top point of that is your Apple, your NVIDIA, your Netflix, right? The big seven. They went up. Okay, so that top part of that pyramid went up. Then below that, you could have names. Oh, Snowflake was another buy too, by the way, guys. Snowflake. I like the trade desk. This was another one that we were talking about down at the 110. We bought this down here. But using the market like that, right? Then you had your J.P. Morgans, you had banks, okay, you had healthcare, right? They followed suit. So then you would take that middle part and then you would rise it up, and then it's like, okay, what's left? So you got this part of the large cap part of the market is up at highs or making new highs. You had small caps, the bottom of the pyramid, okay, still down at the bottom, not doing anything. Then what did we start to get? All right, then what did we start to get? We started to get the Snowflakes, the Trade Desk, the PayPals, the Carvanas, right? We started to get them, the Robin Hoods, right? Hood, look at this. See, this is a healthy market. Small caps catching up to the large caps. You have your leaders lead, your laggards lag. So what would we look for now? We would want to see a consolidation over the next year, year and a half, kind of just hang out, not necessarily here for Robinhood, but for like your Apple or your Microsoft, right? And Microsoft's doing just that. Microsoft, here's your stage 1, pullback, stage 2, consolidate, all right? We want to look for this consolidation, and we want to see this thing put out its final leg of the bull market, whether it's 2026, the end of 2025, whenever it may be. Consolidate for a while, okay? Just like it did back here in 2020. All right, 2019, 2020, it did just that. It consolidated, then it spent 2021, just ripping and roaring. I remember sitting in that thing, watching everything make new highs, and Microsoft is just chilling. Just right above the COVID high. And it's just hanging out. Then it finally took off. So, that's kind of my insight going forward. I have to I would more so focus on different sectors. I'm still think AI has some room to go, those type of names, but like our NVIDIAs, Microsofts and stuff, we want to see them consolidate, watch them start to extend higher. And then same thing for, I would like to see JP Morgan consolidate stuff, but not more so banks. I think JP Morgan, this is a nice possible short up here if the long-term rates can pull back, but I don't know when that's going to be. So timing, that's going to be a little bit different. But this is where I would be right now. I'd be looking for these names like PayPal. I think they still have some room to go higher if they can continue to do what they said they were going to do. If you get a quarter where they report, and I don't think it'll be one quarter, but it would take, 2 to 3 quarters of just, okay, you're not doing what you said you were going to do, and then this thing starts to, sell back off because they're not doing what they said they were going to do. Carvana said it, and they did it. Upstart said it. So far, they're doing it. Look at Carvana. It's right back up near highs. So, that's kind of where I'm at, and we'll see what happens here though, going into like the next, this new administration, the next couple of years. I might be short some banks if we can get yields to pull back. Oil, I'm going to be not necessarily short, but there's a short to be had there. It's already taking place right now. There's a little bit of room left because anything above $40, 35, 40 a barrel, they make money. Okay, they're positive cash flow over $35 a barrel. I think it's 30, but I'm going to say 35 to 40 just to be safe. But they're obviously not making as much money as they would if it was 70, 80, 65. Um, we could look at the heat map as well for other different parts of the market. You have insurance names that were doing really well. Could look for, maybe healthcare. Come on. So yeah. Anyway, that's that. I'm gonna get back to.
TCT bid digital shares spiking here to the highs, $5.75.
Um, let's see here. Anyway, sorry for yapping. But I just wanted to say, as far as the long term's concerned, I want to see like Robinhood. I would like to see Robinhood consolidate, then extend higher. All right, and it looks like it's what it's trying to do right now. Looks like it's going to go into 2025 consolidating. My computer this thing just froze. There we go, we got it. So yeah, I would like to see it consolidate here for a few months and then extend higher. Oh, Goldman Sachs was another big trade this year, guys. Right here. I was upset I didn't buy Tesla when I never got on the Tesla train. We traded it, but I didn't add the Tesla. Goldman Sachs, a monster this year that we traded early in the year. This was one of our first big trades. We got in these at $1.60 on this pullback. We pulled right in, $3.95. That was our stop off this earnings. The market was pulling back. If you go back to March, was it February, March, April? You'll see the market was pulling back, and we held this. They gapped up on earnings. We had already identified this tight consolidation here, right? So we were ready for the breakout or breakdown. We were just waiting for it. Boom, it gapped up on earnings. One of the only stocks that gapped up on earnings. It pulled back, held. The market was still pulling back, in a decent way. And Goldman Sachs, it was like a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We got into it on like a Thursday or Friday. No, we got into it on a Monday. It was on a Monday, I'm pretty sure. Because we noticed Thursday and Friday, Goldman Sachs was hanging out up here. And then the market was still falling. So we were like, you know what? Goldman Sachs is closing green. I know it shows it red here, but from previous day's close, it was closing green while the market was deep in the red. And we took this on this day. We got in like $1.60, and those things went all the way to 1,600. I think 23 was the max on those. Huge trade off Goldman Sachs. Huge trade. And it's all live. It's all live on this channel. You'd have to go back to this day if you can find it. 415, 416 zone. This was a good day. That was a big trade for me. I was happy about that one. Because that one we were waiting for. But yeah. Let's go check up on NVIDIA. We'll look at TS. It sounds like BTCT is going. Yeah, NVIDIA is just going to consolidate right here. I don't want to waste my time with that. TSM consolidating as well. Let's go look at BTCT. BTC Digital. Damn, yeah, this thing is really going. Yeah, it looks like you have room to $7. You have a little bit of resistance up here. Okay, so there's that pivot high. Previous sellers here. If you break through 580, if you can hold 580, then you could look for a move higher. Let's go look at Rumble. See if did it break out higher. 15. That's a buy trigger right there. Let's see. That volume's starting to increase though on the sell side. So a lot of your semiconductors, Qualcomm. Hold on one sec. Yeah, AMD, Qualcomm, SOXX, XLV right now. Let's look at XLV, which is your healthcare. Look at your healthcare taking off right now, guys. I don't know why the daily chart keeps doing this. Look, I'm going to save it. Price axis, time axis, keep time zoomed in. Boom, boom. So I should only have this. Just get tired of this thing, man. Let's look at UNH. UNH is still back below 505. This is proving my point on why I was not in a hurry to buy it. But this is a nice little break and retest. But that's not good. It's not good that you broke below 505. You wanted to stay above that. Apple's breaking out to highs. I'm not another day where I don't think I'm going to get a trade off on, guys. I don't think I'm going to get a trade today. Dude, none of my stuff is saving. I don't understand. Don't understand.
Yeah, and NETI is the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry, part of the Japanese government. So how did Nissan get here? Because I have showed a long-term chart of the stock of Nissan, and it really is incredible. It's since you got accused, basically, in Japan.
Something's telling me to go long JP Morgan.
The stock has been on a one-way ticket lower.
It's a double top there. We have that 20-day moving average right there, though. I don't like that. So we have the 20-day moving average right at 242. But this is a nice range here where if this thing keeps going, if it can get going, I mean, it could have some room.
Desperate move, that there's panic mode at Nissan, but to what degree is scale needed?
Let's go look at.
This is maybe a strategic move that has to happen in what is
BOS
becoming a
resuming
more
again.
scaled industry itself.
Yeah. No, look, if it was really strategic and not panic, you would select a
Share is
company
hitting
which is complementary
$12.46.
to your company. In 1999, when I arrived in Japan, there was a big complementarity between Renault and Nissan. Nissan was strong in the United States, Renault was not present. Nissan was weak in Europe, Renault was present in Europe. Nissan was strong in 4x4, Renault was strong in small.
American Airlines is going.
Renault was strong in diesel, Nissan was in the combustion engine. So there was a complementarity.
I would look for if JP Morgan can pull. Man, see, I don't. If JP Morgan can give me this entry at 240 with the trade line, I'll take the long, guys.
Both of them are on the defensive in the United States. So I don't know how two companies which are
American Airlines got back above it. Damn, this was a trade. Damn. I should have probably just accepted it. We said pullbacks in the $16.90, $17. Right back down into this zone. And there it goes. It's taken off.
to happen when you look at the footprint of the two companies. Maybe in the future, but it still have to be demonstrated.
Is there a deal that makes better sense in your mind?
Well, I was very interested.
What time is it? It's 10:30. What time's the market close today? 12?
Something creative here.
I assume.
Because this is a huge company wanting to have their own electric vehicle. Here you have a total.
Let me do some scanning real quick.
Foxconn said they are interested in Nissan. I said, oh my God, that means something creative here. We have something new coming. Because this is a huge company wanting to have their own
vehicle. Here you have a total complementarity. There is absolutely no duplication between the two companies. But this is where I think at the end of the day, the métier has the last say. That means, okay, no for a Chinese and obviously yes for Japanese.
I was going to say, do you really think the Japanese government would let a Chinese company come in and take Nissan? They had their questions with you about a French company, right?
Yeah, they tried their shot. Yeah, Terrigo and the Foxconn people, which is fair. But frankly, if they really want to go to EV, they will have to choice because there are so many weaklings today in the car industry, particularly in the generalists, the people who are not specialized into one sector, that they're going to have the choice to go for somebody else.
So I don't mean to chew these crackers on in front of the mic. I want to see if we bounce here and this bounce fails. Okay? I want to see us try to bounce and that bounce fails. So I would like to look for like a 15 short. Let's see right now, right? I'm looking for a bounce. See if we extend and then it just fails again up there in front of 15. Or puts in a double top.
And others are struggling because there will be no place for weak or common generalists in this market. I think you're going to have specialists, you're going to have EV makers, the environment, and you're going to have a lot of technology, autonomous car, connected cars. All of this is going to really change and transform this industry. And the companies which are not really well managed are going to suffer.
Since we're talking about Tesla, Carlos, we might as well talk Musk. I'm curious as to how you're viewing what's happening here in the United States. His political influence has obviously grown tremendously over the last handful of months and only seems to be expanding within what will be the new Trump administration. What's your view?
Look, I cannot talk about the situation in the U.S. because I'm not living there and I'm following the news and I'm a little bit careful about how to interpret them. But I can tell you what Elon Musk has done in the car industry, which means sticking to EV from the beginning, going through tremendous difficulties because you know that Tesla was near Chapter 11 a couple of times. But he was persistent, he was focused, and he really played very well this image of technology. It was not only a game, it's also a reality. He's done a remarkable job. And I'm not surprised that today he, by himself, with Tesla, represents 50% of the total market capitalization of the industry. It's amazing.
Well, let me just ask you this then. I understand, the way you answered
All right,
that
I'm looking
question,
at the 14 puts for RUM.
But how do you think the other leaders of the auto industry, whether it's in the United States or globally, should view Musk, given the political influence that I suggested he now has?
Please, if you trade this with me. Damn. Make sure you limit order. And if you enter, when I enter, I'm going to talk you guys through my limit orders, what I'm doing, exactly when I do it. I want to pop here. I think this is it. If this thing just falls and fails here, then I missed it exactly. See, I knew it. Look, it's going to fail. See? I knew it. I told you. I had a feeling that was coming. That it was just going to start falling out of bed here. And they were going to start packing it. Yeah, guys, I fucking missed it. God damn it. JP Morgan, yeah, it was putting in a double top. There goes RUM. So there was the short on RUM. It's been making a new high. It's all right. It's a little extended, but it has a lower volume on the extension. Is what I don't like. But here's the thing. I would be, if I was trading the banks and JP Morgan right now, I would be having the 10 and 30 yield year, the 10s and 30s Yields, I would have that up on my chart. All right. If the 30s are going to continue to climb and the 10 years is going to continue to climb higher, I'm using JP Morgan to trade that uh, that you know that relative strength. All right. And again, 242 is you got to be taking profits in front of that. So that's why I'm not trading it because there's too much going on here. I just I just don't think it's the best place to be right now. But if you get a pullback and you get that 15-minute trade line to hold like 240, watch what happens on another pullback to 240. That's from my view. All right, Rom. I was looking at the 14 puts here. Okay, look. So you recaptured it. Nice, nice. It might be too much of me to ask for 15. I'm trying to get $15, guys. Like 1465. I just want to like put in like a double top or something up here. We'll continue to watch it. So again, 14 puts is what I have on watch right now. RUM on RUM. I just have them up right now. You're sitting around 85-90 cents on the bid with a dollar ask. I want to see if we can get a pop here on low volume. If we pop on higher volume with a low volume pullback, then I'm going to expect it to put in new highs. But I kind of want like a shake and bake where it like looks like it's putting in this bull flag here, holds VWAP, tries to bounce on I'm looking at the top right, okay? Top right, you try to bounce, and then like 1480 or so, it fades, and then it just starts to fail. And we sell back into like $13.50, $13 going into like the close. It's kind of what I'm looking for. All right. And I'm also, as we do this, I'm watching the options. So I have level 2 for options and the stock and time and sales on the right-hand side. There's a 3,000 order that just got filled right there, 3,000 shares to the buy side. Now look at the selling pressure, 3,000 to the sell. There's a ton, thousands of orders to the sell side right there. I'm not going to get it. I don't think I'm going to get what I want, and that's okay. That's okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. 85, 86. Let's see, Rivian. Oh my gosh, I gotta type it in. I'm gonna miss it. RIVN options 14. Hurry, 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 hurry. 14. Nope, not the call side. This side. 85. It's probably not gonna let me. The spreads are really wide right now. It's not good. Let's see. Will it let me put in like an 86? I don't think it will. I think this is trading by 5 cents. Yeah, it's not going to let me. So they're trading by 5 cents. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Fuck. I fucked up. Damn it. I just put in for 90. No, 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 no. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. Oh, no, 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 no. Hold on. I put in Rivian, not rum. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Oh my god, thank god I'm such a fucking idiot. I'm such an idiot. Oh my god, I got so lucky there. And they're around the same price too. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I was wondering why it was saying it was in the money. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so lucky. I don't know what I was thinking there, guys. Did you guys hear me say Rivian, R-I-V-N, and not rum? There's a trade, I missed it. I'm an idiot. They're not really paying just yet. There they go. You could take this off at 115 if you could have got in at 95 cents to 115 exit, 110. That could be nice. That's a nice trade just off of that wick. That's a nice that's 20% right there. Over 20%. 25, that's like a 25, 30% trade right there off of a wick. Fuck. I don't understand what the hell I was doing. I just read off Rivian and I'm typing in. Dude, I could have really got screwed right there. I could have really got screwed. It's not that bad. The spread's not that bad on rum. The bids were at 85 cents with a 95-cent dollar ask. You could have got in at $1, and right now you can sell it for 110. There's your 20%. Just trading the spread itself. You know, it's not that bad. I'm not sure what you were referring to, but it's not. I don't think that this is bad compared to some of the stuff that I've seen. Because remember, again, these are 5-cent increments. You can't do like $1, they're trading in 5-cent increments. So $1, $1.15, 90, 115. If you hit $1 right now, you'll get filled. 95 cents, I'm sure you'll get filled on this bounce. Somebody will take profits at 95 because there's people in from whatchamacallit. And I'm sure, look, let's go to the last, right? Look. Last, I'm sure they got him they did somebody dirty at 110, but you could probably buy that at 95 cents on Uptech. See, look, the bids just jumped to $1. I know there were people, it's not showing it, but I know there were people getting filled at $1 there or selling it at, you know, at that price. So it may look wide, but it's really not because you're trading in 5-cent increments. So it's really not that bad. It would be different if you could get like a 104, 103, 106, but it's every nickel. They're trading nickels on here. There's a chance there, but I don't want to pay $1. I wanted 85 cents. I am so lucky. I really am. I am so lucky it did not let me put in that order for $1 on Rivian. A contract. I'm so lucky. It kept saying error. And I thought it was because I first tried to say, like, I tried to find out first because it looked like it was trading in nickels and I wanted to make sure. So I put in like I think it was what, like an 86 limit order and it said error. So, and I'm not seeing it all on bids or anything, so I imagine it's trading in nickels. I am lucky. So this has a 48 delta with the gamma of 15 cents. So 50, 65. So for every dollar, you would look for about 65 cents, just under, depending on where you get in. You're looking at, 50% to 80%, 50 to, I'd say 55, I'd say 80%. If you get a dollar out of this by the end of the day or within the next hour or two, you should be damn near close, if not close to 100% on this trade. That's if you get the 85, 90, 95. Anything below a dollar.
Wow, so they haven't had any cancellations. Presumably, though, they've had a significant amount of
That trade line's trying to hold again.
now have to work back through.
Yes, that's true. We are expecting some
Looks like they're coming in to hold support here on this daily pivot high at 1350. They're not stepping in a big way though. I have not put in a limit order because I haven't seen it get back down to that 85, 95 mark, and I don't think I'm going to. I think the trade's done now. It may not be done. It's just I can't get in it. Where was I looking for this? $12? I think $12 was where I was looking to take it. I think $12 was the mark. Yeah, $12. Where was it? Yeah, this zone down here at $12, you guys. That would be, obviously pullbacks in the 1350. You take some money off, have some orders out there to get filled. That's a nice hold. I'm going to use that as an opportunity to try to get back into this, as long as we don't get an increase in volume. Got to be honest, you may find this thing just start to consolidate between 1350 and 1450 and just sit here and consolidate. When we needed it, right there was the trade. When I brought this up, that was the trade. And they didn't even really pay that well. You had a few glimpses of $1.20, $1.30, but I mean, our job's to make money. We get it where we can. We take it how we can. We get paid. We take it. It was you just needed to get down. I mean, listen, the market's still open. This thing could still pull back further. This thing still could have room to pull back. You got your 1 minute chart starting to consolidate there. 5 minute, you got some room on the 5 minute. I think she might try to target pre-market highs here, but I don't know when that's going to be. I don't think you're going to get bad news either, though. I mean, like, this thing is overdone, but it's really not, because there's an investment behind this. I think Rumble is probably just going to sit up here and consolidate. And if this thing can consolidate for about a week and a half, I'll be looking to take this for another new high. Another new high a year. Oh, man. It just broke. Damn, look at that. $1.35. Just when you think the trade's over, boom. $1.25, $1.35, $1.40. It's going to break. It should.
Oh, that's very, This store doesn't have agent force, so an AI agent didn't tip off the stock.
Look at the time in sale. Look at your time in sales. Look how red it is. Sellers are just on this thing. They're on it, pounding it. Pounding the table on this thing. You get one little, like, limit order, like, flush. You could probably get $1.50 out of these. You need it to just flush, though. There, I knew it. I was just about to shout out $1.35 to throw those orders out there because you'll get filled on a sell. And as soon as I was getting ready to say it, somebody put $1.35 in there, and they're taking their money. $1.30 now. Watch them start to go lower here. Watch the spread start to tighten up. $1.30. You should see people wanting to get out of this and take their money.
Shares of Boeing at the highs now, Bravo and Alpha, 180.29. Shares up 1.5%.
Yep. Oh yeah. The bids just fell off. $1.40, $1.40. They still haven't dropped their asking price. Oh wait, hold on. Somebody did get filled at $1.26 here. It says last $1.26, but everything else is in nickels. It's 5 cents or 0. No, $2.96. That's what. Oh, you know what? It could be because it's in the money by that much. That's probably why, but that's weird. All right, I'm not in it, so I'm not gonna watch it. But yeah, take your money, guys. That's a nice trade there. If you were able to take it from entry to exit, that's a nice trade. We got on the break of VWAP, 85, 90 cents, and you know you're getting paid. There, I was about to say $1.30 and just flipped. It's so funny. You should. Anyway, good job.
One of the goals at Blue Bottle is to be as responsible as we possibly can be on carbon neutrality and waste reduction. We see our role as a brand to change our guest behavior and the behavior of all those around us.
And JP Morgan slowly but surely extending higher.
Several high-profile mergers in recent years, challenging deals including Kroger's, Albertsons, and the Free Tapestry. Now a government panel.
BOS Bausching, shares pulling back now, $8.74. Upper back.
Let's discuss what M&A could look like under the incoming Trump administration. Former FTC Commissioner Mozilla joining us now. Happy holidays, Buffett. Good to see you.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I mean, the assumption, obviously, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to hear what the assumption is that it's going to be way more merger friendly. But to what degree? Do the doors just swing wide open?
Tiny brick oven. That looks good. We have this whole backstory. I didn't let him remake it because we're leaving the city. We're parked illegally.
Wow, the pleasure is all mine.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, we're picking up a pie. It's under Austin.
This is unbelievable, yes? Watch out for the snow, Stool Presidente.
Yeah, all right. Oh, he said watch out for the snow. I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. Tiny brick oven. That looks good. We have this whole backstory. I didn't let him remake it because we're leaving the city. We're parked illegally.
Wow, the pleasure is all mine.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, we're picking up a pie. It's under Austin.
This is unbelievable, yes sir. I gotta make you another one, man.
I don't have time.
You don't have time?
I'm sorry.
All right, okay. Oh my God, man, this is incredible.
Looks great though.
This is so wild, man. Can I get a selfie with you?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh, man, you're like my hero, bro. Like
Thanks.
when all these businesses were shutting down and you were like doing all those grants and everything, and like I was like, man, this guy is the real deal, man.
I appreciate that.
Gosh darn, man.
I'm glad we hit this spot.
I'm glad you hit it too. I didn't even know you were in Baltimore,
Yeah,
man.
we just got into the day.
Welcome to Charm City, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's so cool. Wow. This is, you know, one of my customers here, she's been tagging me because we're getting ready to close. And she was like, oh, like,
What do you mean you're getting ready to close?
we're getting ready to close, man. We can't get our liquor license here. It's been like
It's
crazy.
closed forever?
Yeah, forever. And she was like, oh, like Stool Presidente can help you. He's like from my hometown. I'm gonna tag him. He's gonna show up. I
When
was
are you
like,
closing?
well, we're just not making any money, man. It's been crazy. The thing is, our politicians gave this market down here their liquor license, but they won't give us ours. It's been It's been crazy, man. It's been totally crazy.
I don't know if I was gonna
But
let him
when
do
you
a
walked
recook
in,
now.
I immediately thought of her, man. I was completely blown away. Like, I thought, like, maybe she was right. Maybe she tagged you, and you were like,
No, she didn't
"What?"
tag me.
That's so wild.
Well, I hope this pizza's great now.
I mean,
So what happens if this pizza's great and you start getting busy and making money? Can you stay open or no?
I think we'll have to stay open. I think we'll have to stay open.
We're gonna have to keep this place open. Is it good?
This is so great. Only the best. Only the best for you, my friend. If we can get you anything else, you know.
No, I'm just here for the pizza.
Of course, of course. We know how you do, man. This is so amazing. I've seen like every review you've ever done, man. Man.
I gotta pay for it.
Well, I don't know.
No, I'm paying
All
for
right,
it. You
okay,
told me you're
all
making no money and I pay for it.
Okay, all right. That's up to you, man.
I'm hoping this pizza is great. Let me open this box.
We make the best, man. We make the best in Baltimore, no question. I mean, I'm excited that you're in this city, man. Baltimore is a very beautiful city. We've got a lot of cool people here. Oh my gosh, man, this is.
What's your name?
I'm Will.
Will, nice to meet you,
man.
Will.
The pleasure is all mine, man. This is incredible, bro.
Oh, please be good. Good undercarriage.
That's a nice pizza, bro. Not flopping, falling all over the place.
Okay.
Nice, not too thin, but thin. And it's like, it's a nice pizza. Damn. from
This
Baltimore?
is a reheat and very good. Thin New York kind of style. Like, I really like it. I'm not gonna lie and say it's better than French or anything like that. That's far away. There's no way this place should be going out of business. None. So that guy was the most upbeat guy you're ever gonna have. Christmas spirit, Will. I'm gonna give this pizza
7, 8, 7, 7, 7, 2.
And here's the thing right here. Thank you for your purchase. Love all, serve all. He's a veteran. Voted best pizza in Baltimore. Every purchase supports a veteran. Closing December 25th unless you help us by clicking tinybrickoven.com/support.
$1.60, $1.75 on those guys. Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
How much money do you need to stay open for like a year?
It's a really good question. I'm not sure.
Well, if there was somebody super rich right in front of your face who's in the pizza business, and by serendipity he's like, what do you need to stay open for a year? You got to give him some figure because then he's going to walk away.
I know it. Listen, I think we could probably get our liquor license and continue to stay open if we had 60,000. Would that be
Done?
Done?
Done.
Oh my God, that is unbelievable! Hey!
Yeah, what's going
What?
on? How do
Stool
I?
Presidente!
How do I get in touch with you? Just here?
Listen, you can
Yeah,
contact me anywhere.
Is that your number?
Yeah, that's our number here at the shop. You can email me. I mean, I follow you on Instagram.
I'll text this number.
Absolutely, 100. Oh, that's
Yeah.
actually that's our landline. Let me give you mine.
Give me your cell.
Yeah, come in.
This guy's screaming him.
I mean, that's
You can just
unbelievable.
text me,
Oh my gosh, man, this is unbelievable.
or I'll send you a text right now.
Wow. I'm gonna cry, man. I'm gonna cry. Listen.
Get off. You got the
You have no idea. The whole neighborhood is like so crazy wanting us to
we
stay
were
open.
talking
Like
12,
we do the
but
pay it forward program.
I saw that. I love that.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Did your job. You did
I
your
mean,
job.
we've fed the homeless so many times. We've done all these things, and like our politicians just turned their back on us. I was really disappointed.
Well, karma. Then this is good timing for us
I
to
mean,
come in.
such good
I'll text you.
timing.
I'm gonna figure out. That's the number. You'll have it before Christmas and keep you open for a year.
Oh my God!
Wow. Pizza was good too.
Thank you. What was the score?
7-9.
Hey,
A
7-9.
little bit of a like in that, and I didn't let you recook it either. It was sitting there, so it's
Yeah,
gone.
I
Really
appreciate
good.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
What's going on? That cost me 60 dimes right there, but whatever. I'm a nice motherfucker.
I tell you what, that's what it's about. It probably has just hit him until like later on that day. Like, holy shit, I still have a job at the place I love. You know, People can say things all they want, and this goes back to my point on the things I was talking about on the stream. Everyone that is on Twitter that just yaps out their mouth about Nancy or anybody that actually has some money in their life has not met or know anything about them, because there is once again, just exactly what I said, proof that this is where your community thrives off of, is when, some people, a group of people, look them up. If you're struggling, if you're a person who's just stuck on conspiracy theories, go look up who's got some money in your state and go see if they don't put your ass to work. All right? If you're hurting, they're there to help. You see what Dave just did? All right? So, that's why me personally, I don't go for it, because I say this over and over. They talk about congressional trading. I want it to stay, because the person that has slaved their whole life, they need somebody bid their portfolio up. And it takes some money to do that. And if it wasn't for big money, there wouldn't be little money. Little money wouldn't have big money, I should say. Or, be able to pay for their kid's wedding, whatever the case may be, a vacation, retirement, all that stuff, So. And I get it, and I know you guys get it. It just becomes this, whatever side you're on, you hate the other side. I don't really play into that. I just don't like when politics overstep their line. And, it's not that I want to solely focus on the United States, but, I also don't want Obama and Biden just deciding for themselves that they're going to be against Putin and be allies when Clinton didn't do it, Bush didn't do it, Trump didn't do it, and there were no problems. There were no issues, And then they want to press the issue, and then what happens? Biden gets right back in office, and we're right back to drawing red lines, and finally they invade. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Is it right? No. It's not right on either side. It's not right for Putin. It's not right for Biden. But I will say, you're just kind of like poking a stick at somebody. You're antagonizing somebody. Yeah, I'm going to let your partner into NATO, but I'm not going to let you. I don't want nothing to do with you. Even though you didn't do anything wrong. Both of your countries are a little, or were a little shady. You really didn't do anything. You really didn't do, things that North Korea does and just fire ballistic missiles over, a crowded city or, a residential area in Japan. They didn't really do that. They do testing where no one has to, where there aren't no casualties. So, I'm just saying. As long as I've been alive, we've been able to get along, and yeah. But good job, guys. If you guys took that trade on rum, good job. I was a little bit nervous to get in around $1 to $1.10. I needed that 90-cent mark, and I messed myself up. I typed in Rivian, and Rivian's apparently the same price because the options chain, I did not tell the difference. And I don't know if I read out RUM or if I read out RIVN, but I just messed myself up right there. I could have had a nice little day today. Could have had a really nice start to the week, built some insurance, and would have had a green week to start the week, and it is what it is. It's all good. It happens. Yeah, look, $14.20, $14. Of course they're the same price. Shit. I was wondering why it was showing me $14 was in the money when I was looking at it, I'm like, I'm buying 50 cents out of the money. I'm buying out of the money. Why is it in the money? It didn't click. again, this is what happens running a stream. You're making sure the volume, everything is working, making sure you don't have too many things running or forget something. Look, like right here, I have this running CNBC. That's going to slow me up. Making sure I'm answering questions and make sure I'm seeing the chat, you know, so aiming that we're not getting spammed. Oops, let me take this back. So this was from the Fed day. I still have that video up. I don't know why.
This was in September. Okay.
But again, so I don't know. I hope everybody's going to have a good Christmas. I hope everybody is, you know, if it's not for you, do what you want to do. If you're not, I don't know. Like, how do I say this? I just don't want anybody to have a bad Christmas. Maybe they don't have everything that they want, but you know, do some soul searching and do what you want to do. Or do something for someone else. It might make you feel better. So here we are. We broke prior day's high up here. Let's see. You might get 12, man. If you get 12 out of this, you should be able to get about 100% on that trade. I'm going to do some scanning here. TSM has not moved. It just pulled back into 205 and it's just stuck double bottom there. We could actually look at that. We might be able to get a trade off of that back to previous high a day. Come on. TSM. All right. TSM is like a double bottom right here. This is a nice... Man, this sucks though. I'm having troubles today. I don't know why, but I keep having to move my charts. I never really had to move my daily chart, 15-minute chart, as much as I've done. I don't know if it's because we had such a strong day with a gap down and everything is stretched and just doesn't look right. You get that from time to time, but it just feels like it's not saving for some reason. You know, but if you guys were here paying attention, you know, you at least got paid before Christmas if you took your money and didn't act like a, you know, didn't act irresponsible. You got in. We didn't want to pay anything less than $1. We were willing to pay 90, 95, 85 cents. You know, you got at least $1.20, $1.15 would have been your first take, if not $1.10. But you were easily given just hitting the spread at $1.20. It was like $1.25, $1.15. Throw out $1.20, guarantee you get filled. Guarantee it. The reason too, there's a reason I was looking at those 14 puts too, is because that's really where the volume was at the time I was looking at them. There wasn't like a few hundred more contracts being traded, but overall, you know, so. It's not always going to be that easy, right? We timed the hell out of that thing. We timed it. We hit the low on those options, and it's a nice trade. I was happy with that one. I was happy with that analysis there. So I want to see here. See this? I don't even like TSM right now. I don't even like this one. This thing might go lower, unfortunately. Yeah, they should decline. You know what, guys? I think bad news is going to be good news. Guess what? I just figured it out. Because what's going to happen here? Rates or yields are going to continue to rise until what? And why? Let's start with the why. Because unemployment is very low right now. So if the Fed is not going to lower rates next year and continue to, let's just say that they're done. They may even start to pause here if nothing changes. If our unemployment rate is still relatively low, maybe they stop a month, they don't cut, and then they do the next month, they do a cut. And they just chew up time. Okay? And then by then, you're in the summertime. Okay? Next meeting, no cut. The following meeting, you get a cut. And then the next meeting, you see where you're at. You're damn near in the spring, summertime. And if everything is still the same, you're probably not getting a cut. So then that means yields later down the road start to rise. Second part to that is what would change that? Unemployment starting to rise. You start to get unemployment to drastically rise. That would give you the cuts later on the yield, okay, which would tell the Fed, okay, you should start to think about getting back into cutting rates. Because what would happen is if you look out 10 years and you say, by next summer, we're kind of where we are. They've taken the 2030, because we'll say it's 2025, we'll say 5 years. We'll say, okay, maybe the next 2 to 3 years, year and a half, they don't cut. But if something happens, see, I just had it. This is where it gets complicated, and I should have just wrote it down. It would. I just had it. It completely made sense. So we start with where we are right now. Unemployment's very low. They have raised rates. They have cut them a little bit, and we're still good. So they start to pause. Okay? We do the pause 1 month, cut the next month, pause, see where we are. If rates are about the same, we're about 6 to 8. We're about 8 months down the road, if not close to a year. They don't cut. We leave it the same. We continue to go. But the thing is what, yields rising in turn is going to create itself, people not buying it, being able to afford or even buy homes, on that 30-year, if the 30-year and 10-year keep rising, then we would say we would start to look for cuts. But that's pretty much what it would be. It's hard for me to get it out. I'd have to write it down and kind of explain the timeline. But in order we get this unemployment rate to start rising, that would help you bring your longer end bond down. That would help get the Fed to cut. Because what happens is if they start to cut and unemployment starts to rise and we go through that mild recession part, then you're back with easing for at least 3 to 5 years. Right now, we're okay. So we know we have should have about at least another year to a year and a half, if not 2. I would say safe to say 2 years, 2025 going into 2026, year and a half. It's almost January, guys. I don't think that the unemployment rate over the course of the next 3 to 4 months would completely rise like crazy. And if they did, it would still take time. Like, you're just not going to get, like let's say, because there's so many different examples we could come up with. If you were to get this next number, it's up a little bit, right? Then we'll just say February. There's no snowstorms, nothing crazy. Boom, you get a crazy number. The Fed's not going to rely just on that one number. Unless you get a consecutive 2 to 3 months of numbers of non-farm payroll that just rip, and don't just rip, but the following month higher, the following month even higher, then the Fed's going to say, okay, we got to start stepping in here. This is getting a bit out of control. I don't think you get that. That's what I don't think you get just yet. I don't even know if you get it. Does the spending cuts and things like that start to trickle its way along with yields rising? Kind of bring that down the road. Maybe, again, 2025 summertime going into the spring, fall. I don't know, because the summertime is usually a time where people are active and the velocity of money is flowing. So it's a little bit hard to do it during that seasonality time. You could look at 2026 wintertime. Maybe you have some weather, things slow, people stay in. Like there's a little bit to be said there. So I'm just going to say this. If you guys start to see these unemployment numbers really start to rise, I'm going to tell you right now, that's bullish for me, because that's going to take the 10s and 30s down, because that is going to show us that the Fed is going to have to not only think about when they're going to start cutting again, but that process in and of itself of the cutting is going to at least chew up 2 years. Then the process of getting out of that, which is going to be another 2 to 3 years, if you really think about it. Okay? I mean, so I may be a little ahead of myself here. I'm not trying to be or act like I'm some scholar here, but I'm just using common sense. I think where we are right now is at a pause, hike, see where we're at, chew up some time. The unemployment rate is still relatively low, guys. I mean, we still would have to chew up at least 4 months worth of data for the Fed to get scared, in my opinion. Because again, one month of non-farm payroll, one crazy big jump number is not going to get them to say, "Oh my God, we got to do something." It would have to be a consecutive month after month, real, let's just say like, a tenfold increase, or not tenfold, but we'll say 1.1 million people lost their job. Where we at? Right now we're about at 125 on average for non-farm payroll. For new people, continuing claims are around 200,000, continuing to rise. So, if you think about it, it's going to take a few more months going into the summertime. The fact that it's summertime, you're going to struggle having a recession then. You could, but again, that 10-year and 30-year, if it really starts to do some damage, people aren't going to be able to buy homes. People don't buy homes. Real estate agents don't get paid. Real estate agents don't get paid. Then you start to see a bit of, how are they going to pay for their car loan? How are they going to pay for their home? How are they going to pay for their kid? Like, then you start seeing it, right? And that stuff is going to take a little bit of time. So I think the 10s and 30s rising like they are going to help put us into that recession, which is, in my opinion, going to be short-term bullish when and if it happens, because that's going to really get the Fed to start cutting, So just for anybody that's here listening to that, keep that in mind. I think you're going to get to bad news, which would be unemployment rising, is good news for bringing the long end of the bond down, which would help us, which would ease the stress on equities from a yield standpoint. If that makes sense, let me know. If not, I don't know. Might be a little off. Now, again, that's referring to the 10. I want to refer to the 30s, but that's still not sure what that means. If the 30s continue to still climb, then we would have a real problem. Maybe we should look up on Investopedia the bear steepener. Let's look it up. And I want to turn it on now, but I can't. But I think they're talking about it right now on CNBC. They're talking about it, about the labor market, the Fed, and exactly what I'm talking about. Like, hey, if the unemployment rate stays where it's at, they're not going to cut. That's going to be bad news. Yields are going to continue to rise, or it should. So I'm not going to sit here and repeat myself, but. All right. Let's see. What can we do here? We only have. What time did the markets close today? What time did they say? I don't know how to go to. Let's see. Messages. It says tune in now, but it says Schwab Network, but where? Oh, I guess it's talking about over here. Okay, we stop at 1 p.m., guys. All right, not 12, but 1 o'clock. Okay.
When it comes to tariffs right now, there's an exemption. They call it a de minimis exemption that basically leaves goods from companies like a Shein, a Temu, untariffed. So if that was taken away, it would hit those fast fashion.
I'm kind of glad we had this conversation. That I'm kind of where I sat and actually thought about it, about the timing. Right? If the Fed starts to pause and we chew up the clock, and it takes a little time for this 30 and 10-year yield to climb back up to where it was, the dollar. And you know what also happens, right? You also start to dabble with the dollar being too strong, and that affects earnings. All right, we're back up there at $1.08. Let me go to 1 day. You start getting back up past that $1.08 zone, and that's when you start bringing up the topic of the reserve of the currency. All right, because what happens is, for anybody that's here that's new, 80% of the S&P, right? We'll just say 80 to 90% of the big companies that are here in the United States do business around the world. So when they revert that money back into U.S. dollars, they sell an item in Europe, they collect their euros, they take those euros to bring it back home. It's less dollars. So it's less in earnings that they receive for selling that item. That's the other struggle that you come up with. So you have both of these things that could start to be weighing in on things, and I think the Fed might just start to get it. It did not seem as though what Powell was talking about was what we're talking about now, but they should be aware of this, because I think it's just weird, but I just thought about all this, about playing the scenario out. Excuse me, sorry. They start to pause, cut, pause, where are we at? Okay, nothing's changed. No reason for us to hike, or not hike, but cut. And then what happens? The 10 and 30s keep climbing. They keep climbing to where so much, a year to a year and a half gets chewed off the clock. Boom, we start seeing those labor numbers start to come up. Again, they're economists. I'm not, but I'm playing the tape going out 2-3 years. So, in my opinion, we need bad news as good news and good news as bad news. We keep this unemployment rate low. People are working. You're going to see the 30s and 10s continue to rise. If they continue to rise, you're going to see this dollar rise unless the Treasury Department steps in and physically brings this thing back down. Because once you start getting past, which we are right now, you get past this 8 zone, right in here is where you're going to start having trouble. All right, because it happened in 2022. All right, this is this area right here. This is where things get dicey. Because this is when you start having an earnings effect. All right. This is just the start of it here. Up here, this is where things get bad. And then you start seeing, volatility. VIX starts to spike. Let's go check in on the VIX right now. Matter of fact, speaking of, let's see if this VIX is going to continue to put in higher lows here, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. It feels to me, again, on RUM, congratulations, you're still back at $1.40. It looks like it's still pulling back. It feels to me that, like, things are going to start to happen and volatility should start to pick up. It's our daily chart here. So we had this spike. Let's see if we can hold and put in a higher low here. And you start to see this thing build. Look, we're going into March, February 2025 here. If we can pull this thing back in here. Support, boom, you get the spike. What is that? June? That's summertime still. I mean, also, I would say it pulls itself back in here, boom, put in a higher low, and then same thing, put in a higher low there, boom, kind of waste some time, and then there it goes, right there. What is that, September, August? Boom. Then it starts to rise like that. There it goes. You guys didn't see the shift, but going into 20, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Because I'm looking at this as like kind of like this here, right? Like you get this curve, it puts in higher low. That's the things I did not account for, was chewing up 3 months of data there. But like from here, it's putting in higher lows. Right there. Look at that. That's putting in higher lows right there. And then bang. Right? I think we could start to get this. You had the first breakout, and I want to see from now on, the next area we're looking for is like 1485. Right? I want to see us hold 1485, start to bounce again. And take that higher low up to like 2050. We pull back, we pull into like 15, 1650, 1550, 16, and you just see us putting in this higher low. I think it's starting again, just like before. And we could use it from there. Where was this? 2024. Let's keep this trend line. I think it's got to go higher, though. Because if I was to look here on the VIX, it would have to hold like $15, $14.85, which would be right there. $14.50, because you have your gap fill right there. And you guys probably can't see it. I'll show you right here. Right there. You have a gap right there, which is also that pivot high with the pivot low. 1485. Right there. 1485, 1450. And you can see support, right? Broke, quickly came up. There's a pivot high for resistance, support. Massive support here at like 1485, 1450 to $15 right there. Boom.
capabilities and that he is
Anyway,
Netflix co-CEO.
I know I'm yapping.
Frank?
Thanks to Julia Borston for that. My next guest says, well, shares have performed much better than he expected. He thinks growth is likely to slow down from here. He has a neutral rating and a $680 per dollar price target for the stock. I stumbled, but the stock's trading at about $930 right now. Let's bring in Barton Crockett, Senior Analyst and Managing Director of Rosenblatt Securities. Barton, happy holidays. Great to have you on board.
Yeah, thank you. Happy holidays to you, Frank.
All right, so Bart, I just want to be clear. 680 price target. You're not even the lowest on the street, but 680. The stock's trading at right around 930 right now. I don't imagine that your price target is hinging on the NFL game, but you're a little NFL games. But you're a little bearish.
You guys notice what we did here in 2022? All of 2022, what did we do?
Look, I think that this is a really big test.
You put in nothing but higher lows.
Surprisingly well with the audience that they pulled in for this Tyson Paul fight, over 100 million.
Nothing but higher lows right here. Throughout this whole time. Right? Higher low, higher low, higher, higher low, higher low, higher low. Higher low, and then finally, we had enough. I'd be looking for that. So I'm going to keep that as a trade idea. And every time we get down into like 1485, 1450, I'm going to limit order some longs on the VIX. We'll give it some time. And we'll see if we can't take advantage of some pops. Make it a small position if you're going to trade it with me. Don't over leverage yourself on it. You know, don't be, you know, oh, I'm going to take, you know, half, a quarter of my account and just buy the VIX because I think it's going to be a huge payday and I'm going to double my whole account. It's not what we're here to do. We're going to use that with the other trades that we make and consistently grow the number that we have. All right, let's go see what's trending. Same thing. Nothing's changed. Oh, Lordy. I'm going to put on a video. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to go make sure my cat's all right. Go check her food and stuff like that. I don't know what. Why is it showing me rings and shit? Like, I don't understand. It's been the same site has been showing me rings. Like,
So, Barton, walk me through your price target. Again, 680 stocks at about 930. Co-CEO Ted Sarandos
fucking stupid.
live events, so they're doing more live events.
Like, I could see showing me a watch. You want to show me a watch? Sure. You want to put up a Batman? Like a GMT, some type of, you know, you want to put up a Seamaster, what, something. Like, give me something here. I could see some Tudors, you know, some Tag Heuers, some Roll, like something. This ain't got nothing to do with this. It's a nice double bottom with AMD. It's got room to climb too. You might go test high a day here. Hold up. Hold up. I got to remember that stores close. I got to get a couple things today. Here, let me look real quick. I don't want to, but I might have to end the stream early. Let me see here. What time? What I might do is put up Charles Schwab here, guys. I hope you guys had some fun. I might end up calling it a day here. I'm not going to call it a day just yet. Oh my god. I fucking hate ads. Excuse my language. I hate ads. No, I don't want to see, I don't want to read an article.
So I understand you're saying there's going to be some cord cutting, but certainly out of all these big streamers, somebody has to lose out. I mean, people, I know I'm personally, I'm not going to buy 7 different services. I have the Sunday ticket. I can see the games I can see. I have Netflix. I can see those games, but I'm not buying everything.
No, you're not buying everything. There will be, a range of outcomes.
What?
People will subscribe to more services perhaps than you.
Let me see here.
Clearly, scale matters, and clearly, it's very challenging for those at the low end of the scale spectrum. So we wonder about, some of the streamers attached to the big media conglomerates, like a Paramount Plus, and others, and and then at the other end of the spectrum,
GTI halted on a circuit
people
breaker.
like in Amazon seem really, really well positioned, with so many things that they have going on to drive value through their video platform.
Damn, I guess they are going to close at 8.
680, stock trading about 930 right now. Really appreciate your time and your insight. Have a great holiday.
Great, thank you.
So what I'm doing is I'm looking up.
The table for 2025, it was kind of a mixed bag for restaurant stocks this year. You had names like Chipotle bringing in the guac, while others like Starbucks.
I'm trying to look up what hours.
We'll take a look at how
Oh,
next
six.
year,
What's today? Tuesday. So now it's telling me 6. Okay. That's not bad. But they're going to be trying to kick people out earlier. $6 o'clock. Okay. All right. Okay. Hit that like button for me, guys. Subscribe. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling. Let me know who's here, who's not here. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat. And if you would like to contribute to the stream, if you appreciate the trade ideas and want to give back, link is in the description if you would like to get a one-on-one. So far, we gave out Rivian to the downside, 85, 95, under $1 short, $14 puts, or short, targeting $12, and 20 to 50%, easy on that trade. What am I doing here? So yes, follow me on Twitter at Ivy League Trades. Again, any of the contributions to the stream goes to the stream. Okay, you guys are going to help me be able to take this, where I would like to be able to take it. I would like to be able to start having a phone line in where we can get some people to call in. It takes money for all that. I already use a lot of the money for myself. There's a lot of things that I've continued to buy and will continue to buy to do different things so that we all can have, the tools that we need, the ideas, and have a good time as well. Just a little bit of entertainment to be here, to be brought here. But so for that, if anybody gets back, thank you ahead of time. You can follow me on Twitter at Ivy League Trades as well. You can also sign up if you want to donate. If you want to send a donation to the stream for a one-on-one, that's cool too. But the one-on-one link is in the description. And I'm free, anytime. We could do half-hour, hour sessions, focus on reading charts. I mean, we pinpoint the things that we talked about today. Why was I able to feel comfortable about trying to get short run when I was, instead of, earlier in the morning, having that timing down, understanding these yields and what's going on, sentiment, all that fun stuff. So I hope you guys were able to make money with us. That's a double. That's not necessarily a double top, but it's a double top that we were not able to hold 1350. All right, on the daily chart. So, which it's not surprising. I mean, a consolidated pullback isn't really that big of a deal. There's probably a second entry possibly to be had here if the volume increases. I can't do it. I needed nine. I just needed it under $1, but I messed that up, so it's my fault. I put in Rivian and I was putting out orders, and I'm thankful because I could have just got smacked. I was putting out dollar orders on Rivian that I think were only asking 30 cents. And I am lucky they did not fill me even at the asking price. And just wiped out my bid and just went ahead and filled me on the ask for puts. I would have been screwed. It was definitely a screw up that I just was talking with the stream and I just got mixed up. It doesn't happen very often, but that could have been bad. And not as bad as blowing my account up either, so don't get it twisted. But it would have just, it wouldn't have been good. Because that's how you get your head out of the game. Alright, so here's what, let me get back to what I was doing here. Your support level is down here. I would look for like 11. I'm targeting $12. All right, I want to get down to this like $12 zone, pre-market lows. You've already kind of tested it at $12.50, so anywhere from $12.50 to $12 really is considered the $12 zone. It's it's about 25-50 cents wide. So yeah, let's go to. I want to go make sure my cat has food in her bowl and that she's okay. So give me 1 second here.
Therapeutic, for instance, VKTX. That's a weight loss drug, which I should be on, by the way. But Viking is a one that is going to probably be acquired at some point, and that's about that's a big percentage of the biotech index. And so I really like Labu, Labu.
Understood. So are you going to try and go with the momentum names that have been doing well, or are you going to be looking for the dogs and buy things and looking for value for 2025?
Yeah, I'm really looking at undervalued companies, ones that are going to benefit from an earnings boom. I'm not looking at the momentum ones because I think the momentum's going to start to shift away from a lot of these high tech companies. I do like Meta. NVIDIA concerns me, and Apple concerns me. Just from an earnings standpoint, I don't know if they can continue to print the numbers that they've printed, but I do like Meta quite a bit.
Right, and less on Apple and NVIDIA. All right. Ed, it's good to see you. Thank you so much, Ed Batalski, Chapwood Investments. A great 2024 with us, and we'll see you in 25. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Coming up, disruptors. We'll cover ServiceNow. Raymond James initiating this coverage and with some positive words, and we'll talk about
Cut the cord on the way you get market news. It's Market on Close. Join me, Oliver Rennick, for the biggest earnings coverage and insights from the smartest minds on Wall Street. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, available anytime, anywhere, on any device for free. Only on the Schwab Network.
Have the facts without the name. Welcome back to Trading 360. We're glad you're with us. I'm Nicole Petalades, live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow's up 224 points right now. We're watching developing stories. We bring in Caroline Woods, senior markets correspondent here on Schwab Network. And Netflix receiving a nice price target hike from KeyBank today. Positive comments. Let's hear a little about that.
Yes, Netflix, of course, a huge winner this year, up some 90% in 2024, up another, 2.5% today. Those gains really picking up some steam as this holiday shortened session progresses. Only about 1% away from all-time highs, but KeyBank sees the name moving higher over the next 12 months, thinks it will continue to be a winner, hiked its price target to $1,000 a share from $785, so playing a little bit of catch-up as well. That implies about 8% upside from current levels. KeyBank maintained an overweight rating on shares, says the market is in a Netflix one narrative, which is historically a challenging scenario for the stock, but the analyst points to multiple reasons it could continue to outperform the S&P 500 in 2025, including moderating competitive intensity, live events driving more engagement. Of course, there are the two football games debuting on Christmas Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
They also point to revenue and EPS growth that should hold up better than Netflix's peers, and then meaningful EPS and free cash flow generation that KeyBank says provides more of a valuation floor than in the past. So raises price target to $1,000 a share. As for how that stacks up against the rest of Wall Street, median price target on Netflix only $829 right now, which is quite a bit below where it's currently trading, despite the fact that 65% of analysts still have a buy rating on shares. But the street high is $1184, so not quite the highest, but getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to see what their numbers are for this, right? We just had that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing, but they're saying, will viewers tune in to the NFL games on Christmas?
And will there be tech issues and buffering issues? Because we've seen that in the past with Netflix as well. Hasn't impacted the stock at all, but it could have a lot of upset football fans if that's the case.
All right, so let's see. Thank you for that, Caroline Woods. And we turn our attention over to the disruptors. George Sillis is here, senior markets correspondent, taking a look at ServiceNow. Also with some positive comments from analysts. In this case, it's Raymond James. Let's hear a little bit about this.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at across the board, Nicole, we talked about ServiceNow a little while ago, and the analysts are still constructively bullish on this name. I mean, you have to think about this company is really a powerhouse in the HR service delivery, enterprise resource software space, and they've done a great job to structure and automate integrations of artificial intelligence within their software ecosystems. And it comes down to workflow optimization, efficiencies for major corporations like the Fortune 100 and 500 companies that use ServiceNow, and essentially the durable competitive advantage that this company has been generating over the years alongside other competitors, and of course, periphery technology software companies like Workday and even CRM or Salesforce in the enterprise sales and resource management space. But, ServiceNow has become the go-to, HR service management software that the major corporations use. And essentially, it creates sort of a network effect where companies who start using their products, end up having high switching costs, so they stick with it. And so, over time, the analysts are still constructively bullish on this name. And so today, Raymond James actually initiated coverage on the stock with a $1,200 price target, and they actually see, the stock growing what would be considered perhaps at a reasonable price. They did denote that maybe valuation is a little bit lofty, and I can see where they're coming from, considering the stock is trading around 55 times next year's 2025's earnings. But if you look at the aspects of the earnings growth, it was around 27% in the last year. They're still expected to grow their earnings by about 28% going into next year. So it's trading around 2 times their forward earnings growth. But at the same time, if you look at the total sales, around 22%, subscription revenues as based on last quarter's report was around 23%. So they're growing the subscription revenue faster than total revenue. So they're growing more efficiently, and I think that's also very accretive to the bottom line for us for ServiceNow. And this is why, again, Raymond James has initiated coverage, and previously we covered the stock. Canaccord also upgraded the stock from about $1,000 to $1,200 to an outperform rating as well.
I understand. Okay, so with that, how would you go about an example trade today, George?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the stock, obviously today there's not a lot of volume, but just based on the price of the underlying shares, it doesn't move a lot. There's not a lot of volume that's traded because it's still sort of trading on a pretty split adjusted basis. So I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to play trend continuation because right now it looks like it's reclaimed the 20-period moving average, which I think is still constructively bullish, but it's not in a very aggressively bullish trend where you have a lot of momentum. So with that said, we're going to look at putting on a bull call spread for February's expiration.
All right, y'all. Just want to thank you guys for being here. All I ask is that you guys show some love, hit the like button, subscribe, share it with a friend, follow me on Twitter. I post trade ideas over there all the time. We'll link back up after Christmas, maybe Christmas night, if it's not too late, if I'm not too tired. And we'll go over the rest of the week. If you guys enjoyed the stream, or if you've made money with us today, we had a nice trade on Rivian. Some of you guys are probably still in it. You guys can send contributions in the link in the description. All right, that money goes to the stream. If you guys want to do a one-on-one, how did we time this? Why was I short in the first place? Okay, if you want to learn how to do this professionally, you want to learn how to do this correctly, it's there for you to have. It's up to you to take upon the opportunity to help the stream. It's not expensive. All right? Learn how to do it. Let someone else teach you so you can look a little bit smarter. Help you help yourself. That's what I have to say. I've done it. I'll continue to do it. If I want to learn and develop into an area I don't know, I'm going to pay somebody to teach me how to do it and do it correctly. So, with that said, we also are going to shout out the SPY. What did we say? We said if we get above 595 and start holding 595, we were looking for 600. Where are we? 600. These are all on the live. Fully recorded in real time. Okay. But anyway, listen. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Alright. If things aren't where you want them, focus on helping someone else. Maybe that'll make your Christmas better. I don't know. I just hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. And I'll see you guys on the night of Christmas or the day after. And we'll try to finish this week out strong. So today, we traded Rivian, 85, 95, 90 cent puts, $14 puts for 85, 95, 90 cents. Under $1, at least under $1. We said under $1. If it's over $1, that's up to you to take it. Up to about $1.40 to $1.50 there. Right now, you still got about $1.30, $1.45 on the spread there. So that's that. You guys have a great rest of your day. We came in, we did our job. Now it's time to... I just don't think we're going to get much more here. I have some stuff I have to do. I would stay with you guys, but I want to go finish up a couple things. Hit that like button for me again. contribute to the stream so we can take this. It's up to you guys that where we can really take this. Listen, I do this for free. I want to continue to do it for free. I just need your guys' help. I need your guys' help. Have a great Christmas. Have a great night. If you guys need anything, you guys can reach me at Ivy League Trades on Twitter. Send me messages. My link's in the description. Email me. Sign up for a one-on-one. Okay, sign up for a one-on-one. Help the stream. Helping yourself. Let's all, band together and help one another. Have a great rest of your night. You guys know where to find me. Once again, at Ivy League Trades on Twitter. Hit that like button, subscribe, contributions, links in the description, or a one-on-one. Have a great night, guys. Merry Christmas.